America. You all may be seated. I want to thank you all for coming out. I didn't have a lot to tell you all today as far as anything new. We haven't caught up with what I've already told you. However, I wanted to come out and speak with you in person so that I could explain as to what's going on and what's taking place. Possibly how much more time you all have here. Would you want to know that? Yes. I don't know if the minister spoke on the taping today. If you all know or you're told what time it's going to be presented or played, I would suggest that you tape it or get one of the tapes from the minister here or from the temple, because there's a lot of information there that I'm quite sure you'll find very helpful to you. Can you all hear me? Yes, sir. Well, I guess I'll get right into what I want to speak about, and that's the call that we've had out across the nation for everyone to give as much as they possibly can give so we can get this place set up for your exodus. We have to have a place for you to go. If you're going to leave here, you can't just leave aimlessly and don't know where you're going. And today, it still takes money for us to get these things. And after you get there and arrive, it don't take as much money to keep it going because it'll be you doing the work. The most expense that we have is buying the things that we need or we're accustomed to, such as food, clothing, and toiletries, and things that we are not making yet. However, we got a few things going and a few people that are scientists that are coming up with these things that we use every day. So we won't have to, in a little while, be spending money for that, especially after we purchase the land and produce our own. Are you all with me? Yes, sir. It's somewhat difficult to explain a tragedy that boggles the mind, even if you see it. You know, it's much like experiencing something so wonderful that your present language can't explain. So after it's over with, you can't hardly tell nobody about it. All you say, it was great, awesome. But these are words everybody's been using. So it still doesn't explain what you really are trying to convey. This is what is about to take place in the sense of putting an end to things that's wrong. It has to be so violently expressed because of the ignorance of the people. The power that Satan seems to have is what we give him. I hope you're listening to what I'm saying. Yes, sir. And since you are the God, you got a lot of power. So if you're going to give it to someone, you got a lot to give it. So if we're going to stop him, it's almost like we got to stop you. We got to stop that power. So we have to use a lot of power to stop your power. Am I making sense? Yes, sir. Everything that we're witnessing now, except myself and what we're doing, is put into motion by Satan. However, Satan's only successful because we are giving him the right to do it. We're doing everything he says do, we do it. Not necessarily ones that are with me. You know, you're still doing it to a degree. You're weaning yourself away from that. And the only way we can get all the way away from it is that we have to be totally independent of what we've been accustomed to or used to. That's why it speaks about in this last day we have to make sacrifices. It's a sacrifice on one hand, however, really, it's not. You know, we call it a sacrifice because we have to give up things that we have been used to doing. You know, been eating breakfast every morning. We have to eat one meal a day. You know, it don't sit well with you. However, you got to make yourself go against what you've been doing by habit. So it seems as though, you know, it's a burden to you. Or, you know, you got to eat beans. And you've been eating steak. You know, you don't want to break that. Or you've been thinking the I, me. instead of the we, like it reads in the Bible in the Quran. We made man, or let us make man. In the Quran it reads we. We never go into that. Are you listening?
Yes, sir.
So, my biggest task is to make sure that our minds go beyond just ourselves as a person. And it takes land, it takes patience, it takes knowledge, and it takes time to prepare for a people. Not a person, for a people. You know, most of the times when I come out here, I bring 3 or 4 people. Sometimes I bring 5 or 6 or 7 or 8. And before I come, I'm always asked, Father, how many people are you bringing with you? And I'll let you know how many is coming with me, at least how many I plan to come with me. And then you say, well, how many rooms will you need? How long will you be staying? So you ask all these things because you're making preparation for my arrival. There's no difference in this. This is the works of the unseen power of God. And even looking at me now, you can't really say, well, this is God. You're saying it because you can't prove that I'm not. I don't know how many of you all can prove that I am. But I do know you can't prove that I'm not. So everything that's being done, you don't see me physically doing it. Other than you can say, well, it is because of Father that I think the way I think now. But you haven't seen me drive no hammer, no nail. You haven't seen me do anything. You may know some things take place and you say, well, I know it happened because of Father. I just got a call before I got here on the message machine or the message system there at the hotel. The brother got burnt. However, the way it took place, he still gave thanks to me as to what took place right after he got burnt. But I wasn't there physically to do it. So he's giving thanks to me because he's with me. He knows that before it was anything really drastic, when he called on me, we stopped it. Now, all of the ones that is actually being with me and going to be with me, we have got to accelerate our preparation for this exodus, especially here in California. It's been happening gradually. You know, I'm almost surprised we still have a temple here. Because we've been taking almost, like I say, once a month or once every 2 months, somebody we're taking from here and sending them to heaven or Kansas. And they're there working. And that's because this place won't be here much longer. So it won't have to be something that's a rush, especially for those of you that already see. Now, there's a lot of things that is going to be happening, that's happening now, that you don't see. We don't have no more rival. There is no more opponent that can even be considered opponent to us. The minister would be the last one, and he's already proven that he's not an opponent of ours. And the only reason why he would be an opponent is because we made it. We're the ones that gave him the power that he has or had. And he was the only one strong enough to make any type of influence or impression on what we're doing or how people think of us. Now, that's faded or gone. So we don't have anything hindering us other than the unseen force that speaks to us in our head, which is Satan. Are you all following me? Well, usually California, although we're getting people from here, it looks like the participation as far as the financial help that's coming from here is still pretty good for the number of people that we have. So I thought to myself, I said, well, I really want to go out and just see you, just talk with you. I didn't have anything special to tell you. The floor will be open. You may ask me some things tonight. What I would like for you to know is to be sure that everything that you are sending from yourself to make a preparation for yourself is actually in place. You know, we have the opportunity to purchase a hotel. We're already in litigation for our mill to purchase the mill to do our wheat, things that has to be put into powder form, or even the beans. We're making a bean flour now. This experiment. However, it's ours. We have a compound where we're in litigation to get that. And on it already we have 3 homes. That's pretty good size. However, it's large enough for us to build something new. To show that we do have a new knowledge. These things are already in motion. And it's because of what you all have been doing. Since it's not here in this area, you don't see it. Unless you actually come where it is. If we weren't doing it, you couldn't come and see it because we wouldn't have it. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
How many showed up a couple weeks ago, I think it was, in Baltimore? Only 3 of you all? I think, did you go on a bus trip to see the things? But you didn't see the mill, I don't think, because that was a ways off. Along with the mill, we have water rights. It's an old mill that, it works by a wheel, water wheel. Not a windmill, a water mill. The water runs over, it turns the, and it's very well kept. And with it, we have quite a bit of land. We have quite a bit of vehicles that comes along with it. And then we have quite a bit of business that's already that the mill is serving. And the people there are so pleased with what we are doing, and because we are trying to get it. Nobody wants to buy a mill of that sort. However, it's feeding the things that people bring in from the farms and whatnot. We have no waste. It's sent back for cow feed. In other words, whatever comes there and you clean it. We're sending our beans there now. We're cleaning our own beans. We harvest our beans, I think it's been 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. And you should be able to get some here very soon. Our navy beans. But they have to be cleaned. It's a very tedious process. We had to make screens for it and everything. And the people that are there, when we came in and started working, because they wanted us to come in and start to learn the process so we can take it over and the other people that we're buying it from can move out. And when we came in to start to actually working, and even in the office to find out what type of business and how they keep it, and who has to stay after they leave, and paying the workman's compensation and all of the taxes and so forth, whatnot. So we're looking at all that, and we're doing this, and the people are amazed how quick we're learning. And the sister that was there in the office learning the business part of it wasn't but 14. So at first they said, well, no, she can't come. She can't come here. And we said, well, this is voluntary. We're not paying her. She's with us. They say volunteer. Oh, by all means, send her. So she has been there learning. Now we're sending some other people there. But what I'm saying is this. We get the things going that is going to make money. We're serving the community that's already there. We're not going to stop doing that. And everyone there is white. Everyone that's being served is white. And they say they're still going to bring it because there is no other mill close by us or by that mill. So they would be ill-served if they took their business someplace else. However, they see that there is no threat from us. We're concerned about serving the community and making it work. Since we don't have enough of our own, we will still process theirs and let them pay for us processing ours. Am I making sense?
Yes, sir.
Do you hear me?
Yes, sir.
It seems as though the youth around the country, even in Kansas itself, we have been holding meetings in the diner on Sundays just for the youth in the community because they're not coming. And from what they're telling us is that they cannot trust us because they think that we are the Nation of Islam. We've just changed it to the United. And they're rather upset with the Nation of Islam. And some of the things that they're telling us that has happened to them, if it's true, we really can't blame them. So it's almost like we got to overcome the stigma of what's been placed on us from what the nation has done. So it's making them come late. However, the work can't stop. We got to keep building. And it goes along with the prophecy. You know, the harvest was right. The laborers were few. Are y'all listening?
Yes, sir.
What is that, the Holiness Church?
Yes, sir.
You see, that's madness. If I were a God and expected people to serve me in that manner, something would be wrong with me. So we can see the necessity of us doing what we have to do, and to increase it if there's any way possible. You know, you speak with your parents, your children, your brothers and your sisters, and you be very firm with them, and show them, if you have the tapes, show them and let them see what's actually taking place. If you have the literature, what we are doing, let them see that. And believe me, it's not going to take long. It's going to be intense, but it won't take long. It's somewhat disheartening to see the brothers that want to come, the youth, and we have a lot of females that stops them. So the brothers, when you speak to the brothers, let them know we can't hardly charge the sisters from stopping us, because they're not held responsible for building the nation. You know, I had to leave my family because the mother didn't want to be with me, nor have my children with me. Suppose I did what she wanted me to do. You wouldn't be here. The things that are taking place now, you would have no refuge from it, because the messenger performed his duty and he was taken. He's not here to do anything else other than get what we promised him. And he's not to go do that. He's just to sit and wait for it. He's not to go get the 144,000. He's just to make sure he's here so they can be presented to him. However, suppose that I had stayed and did what my wife thought I should have done. Or shall I say the mother of my children. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So we really need to do all that we possibly can. I have asked the members that have the wherewithal, if you have a home, put it up. See how much money you get for it. And send it. If necessary, we'll pay the payments for you. And I'm not a liar. The United Nation of Islam pays this bill. You know, if we do find any temple, anyone that's with us, that's representing us officially, and there's a bill that is owed, we pay it immediately. If the person, here recently there was a shoemaker, a black man in Kansas, and some of the brothers had went there and they did business with the man, but they never paid it. So as soon as we heard about it, the mother went down to the place, and he was very arrogant and very nasty. He was very upset. So we paid him on the spot. He was still nasty about it. However, we paid him, so he cannot say we didn't pay him. The only reason why we didn't pay as soon as we didn't know it took place. So we're still growing to make sure everybody does what they're supposed to do. You get that?
Yes, sir.
Well, I don't know if this is going to be a night for you to remember. I've spoken so many things here in California. Things that if you all had really studied and you're keeping up with, you will know without a doubt. This is the time and this is the place. It's just small here. However, in a few days, it's going to be quite a few people coming because they won't have no choice. The temple will be the unemployment place. It'll be the soup line place. It'll be the place of refuge. If it's no place here in California, it's because California's leaving. However, all of the country is not going. So wherever we will be in a stationary front, a stationary place, that's where people are going to find their refuge. And nobody's going to come against it to destroy it. We don't have no such enemy, even if they would want to. You all got questions for me?
Yes, sir.
There's quite a few things, like I said, I have quite a few tapes out. There's quite a bit of knowledge that I've shared with you all. Intimate knowledge. How many are here for the first time and never been to the temple here before? Well, if you all have questions tonight, I'll be more than happy to answer for you. If you have a question to satisfy your belief or disbelief, just ask the question. You know, you can leave all the attitude in your seat, your disbelief in your pocket. And if you have a question, just ask the question.
Yes, sir.
And see how the answer comes. You know, if you want to let me know, so I don't believe you or God, I understand that. I don't believe you doing what you're saying, I understand that. Especially if this is the first time that you've seen me or been with me or hear me. You know, I wouldn't be so quick to make a judgment as to what I am until after you give yourself an opportunity to actually investigate. It would be no way in the world that I would be doing what I'm doing if I didn't already know I'm successful. Nobody does what I'm doing. And nobody says what I'm saying and back it up. Nobody. As powerful as the minister was, he never said that he was God, although he alluded to it many times to let you think it in your own mind, but he never said it. He spoke with authority. At least he used to. Now he speaks with compromise because his time is up. The time for what he was to do is up. And we don't set nothing in motion and don't put a time to it. And once it reaches its time or runs its course, if the person don't know, then situations are put into play that will let them know what you're doing is out of time. And I think everyone can see that now. If not, just keep breathing for a few more days and you'll see. Now, if it is not the nation of Islam, what nation is it? If you're going to be saved, and the Bible speaks of you being a nation, and God would destroy nations for this nation. So what nation is it? It can't be the lost found nation by Cyrus. If it is, I don't see any preparation for your exodus. I don't see any teachings to you where it will bring you into a different or a new thought. There's no need to even mention anybody else. Would you agree with me? Well, in order to get in, I just wanted to come back and speak to you, let you know I haven't forgot. I'm still dealing. So I know it takes quite a bit of finance for you to leave from here and come or go where I am. So it would be cheaper for me to come where you are. You know, instead of 400 or 500 people, I would like for it to be that many, to go see me. I'll take the one or two and come see you. So I spent a little time. I know the last time I was here, I didn't have very much time to actually have any audiences, and I won't this time. Usually because if you've really been studying what I'm doing, it isn't too much you can ask me I haven't already answered. And it is not me in the person or flesh that you need. You just need to have the knowledge and the will that I'm with you. If you know that, or if you come up on a situation that you cannot handle, just call on me. I'm always delighted to answer you. For real. Then this way, I don't have to be running around from person to person. I couldn't do that and keep up. Because everybody has a need. And they think their need is greater than anyone else's because it's yours. So if we do it in a way where whenever you call, the answer, I can answer, then this way you will see, well, you have me personally, and at the same time you give me freedom to do what I have to do. Is that clear?
Yes.
So tonight, we'll at least take it up to 9 o'clock. We'll see how good it gets. We may go a little beyond that. So if you have any questions, I'll be more than glad to answer them, especially those of you that haven't asked me anything. And I know what should be asked is an understanding of what is supposed to be spiritual or religious. What is God? Who is God? Where is God? If you know that, you really don't have no questions. You only have an ear to hear, so you can give balance to what you already know. Most people don't know that. So, you may say, well, if you're God, well, can you heal me? Yes. Will I heal you is another thing. There are some things that has to be done for me to actually do that. If you take it on your part and do what you're supposed to do, I must do mine. Is that clear? Now, I've been out here enough times that I don't intend to get in any argument about anything that's spiritual or righteous, what you call righteous or religious. We're just going to talk tonight. And if you get the tape, can you high-speed it? High-speed the tape? We have the ability to produce the tape before you leave, so we don't have to pay no rent or extra money for if we have to stay an hour longer. So if you want to wait for the tape, get the tape and take it home with you and listen to it. I find it very rewarding if you're in motion when you listen to the tape. If you're in your car, you're going someplace, especially if you're going somewhere, if it's an hour drive, pop it in. And before you get there, you might pass the place. Listen. And you listen and see if this isn't for you. If you're home, if you're doing something, don't be in motion where you got to put half of your attention on what you're doing and the other half on what's being said. You're going to miss something. Make sure that you're in some place where you can listen to it and it has meaning to you. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
All right, well, I'll open up the floor. And for those that want to come up and actually speak to me, I'll be glad to speak back with you. So the mic is there. Whoever wants to come up, you have a question, you have a comment, I'm yours tonight. All right? So if anyone wants to come up, the mic is there. You say you had questions. Yes, sir, go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Yes, sir. My name is Brother Titus, from San Diego, Brother Titus X.
Yes, sir.
And first of all, I wanted to thank you for all that you've done throughout my life. First time I heard your voice, it was a voice that was in my head, seemed to be all my life. However, when I first saw you, I put the voice to a actual entity or a being, and that's all I needed to hear. And since then, everything that I do, I direct it from what you share. Also, I wanted to, my wife, Assistant Secretary Vet 2X, we just had a baby a month ago. And we wanted to thank you for through the pregnancy, protecting us, and through the delivery and everything. It's just a blessing. I can't too much put it in words. I'm so excited. I'm heart beating and everything. I just want to say I love you, Father. And as far as the question, I wanted to know if you can give me understanding as far as the murder of the four devils. What does that have? What is that? The understanding as far as each person or whatnot.
Well, everyone that has a real understanding, and if you're going to really be saved, you got to understand what has been stopping you from being saved or even being enslaved. And it's the thinking of another man, what has stopped us from thinking right or being enslaved. Now, in order for us to be actually free from this enslavement, there are four major people or thinking patterns that we have to master. So this is what it means. You have to master the brown man thinking. You got to master the yellow man's thinking. You got to master the red man and the white man. So if you master that, then this is what's taking the head, because this is where all your thinking is, in the head. And it doesn't mean that you go out and murder someone physically, cut their head off. It means that you have learned, by learning yourself, who you really are and why you are that. This automatically makes everything else submit to you. And when that is clear in your own thinking, and you can verify it and confirm it, then you have actually murdered the four devils. In other words, all of them are against us, the righteous or the God, in degrees. It's just that the Caucasian is the one that is 180 degrees against us. The other ones, even from their right, as you can see, it's leading from right, then they're right up and down, all the way to the white folks, they're right from left to right. So it lets you see. So this man all the way away, if you fully understand yourself and the reason why you are here and what's taking place now, this means you had to plan to get this knowledge. You had to actually listen to the messenger, to myself, to Minister Louis Farrakhan. In other words, it was stages. And when everything makes sense to you, this means that you took time to actually do this. And when you say murder, this means that you actually planned to do this. It don't read in there, well, you were to kill 4 devils. It don't read that. Because killing can be an impulse. It happened, you just, something come up and you defended yourself, so you killed them. You can't do that if you murder. You got to plan. It's got to be premeditated. So in order to understand what's taking place to you, you got to actually, premeditate this to make sure you fully understand. So when any person, either one of them or either one of our own people comes up to us and tells us, well, you all don't like white folks, we know right away he's black, but that's not who's talking to us. Here's somebody else's brain in this black man that's talking to us, try to make us feel as though we are doing an injustice to someone. So you have already got to know what they're saying and how to put your own soul at rest, that you're not doing nothing unjust to the person. So this way you have murdered them. So you know how to answer them back and they can't say nothing. It's like shutting them up in your own head. And if they come to you physically, and you can shut them up physically because they can't answer. Is that clear?
Yes, sir. Also, I wanted to ask, my birthday is June 21st, and I remember my brother was reading some of the biography, and they were sharing the day that you brought your entity, got introduced to the nation, and I was wondering if that had any significance. I was born the year after, on the day that you came in.
Well, usually June, I think, is considered the month when everybody gets married, or it's the month where people get married.
Yes.
So if you're going to get married, it means that you have increased yourself or you've added to yourself. So I got my ex in June 21st. In other words, I was officially accepted into the nation June 21st. So it also goes along with being a man. 3 times 7 is 21. So I'm growing into manhood.
Yes, sir.
If that has any answer to what you asked.
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
There are many things. In other words, anytime a question of that is asked, it can be answered in many ways. It depends upon the person, the reason why it happened. You could do the same thing, be born at the same time and everything else, and you would have to answer it a different way. Everything is related. So the answer would be whatever has the strongest influence on the purpose at that time. That's what the answer will be. When you look back on it and try to find something wrong, and you check all these things out, you won't find it. Because everything is done right according to the plan of Allah. So you look and say, well, when did he come into the nation? It reads in Revelation 21 in the Bible. This is when this Lamb starts to do all these new things. He makes all things new. You don't talk about it until it gets to Revelation. And it's chapter 21, 3 times 7. And it talks about what he's going to do after he becomes a man. He ends death. This new Jerusalem comes down from heaven, from God, out of his mind. He don't do it until, and before then in Revelation, I think Revelation 12 or 13 is talking about the birth of this man-child. He's a child, but he has the purpose and aim of a man. So he reaches manhood when he gets to Revelation 21. So I come into the nation, get my ex, 21st. So there's many ways it can be explained.
Yes, sir. Pardon me of my ignorance if I have shared anything that was not right and exact. I did want to say that you are the R in Royall.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. And I love you, Father, and I'm always going to be with you. So I'm ready to get straightened out, and I'm ready to go on to eternal life, and bring a lot of happiness and pleasantry to all that's with us. And even before coming in this idea, I used to tell myself that I could never see myself dying. I even would share, someone would have to have, I don't know how they could never take me out. I had such a strong will to live. And now I understand why.
Yes, sir.
And I thank you for that, Father. I love you.
Love you too.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. You know, it's very easy to be with me because in your mind, if you ever see me, you have an image impressed on your mind. However, everything that you are, I am that. Not everything that you want to be, everything that you are. Now, if that's falsehood, that is nothing, so I'm not that. Nor are you. But everything that you are, if it's real, I am that. So I'm always with you. So it's easy to be with me. If you understand what I'm saying. Yes, sir. Wa alaikum salam.
Father, I have a question about 3 different terms I'd like to have defined. The 3 terms are church, lust, and fornication. I'd like to know what those terms mean.
Well, church is a place where one would assemble, usually in a building, which we would look at, to give cheer or to be cheerful. And the thing that will cause you to really be cheerful is something that is true or that's fitting for the time. And what will really make a person's heart glad, happy at this time, is just to know that the Christ is here and that he's sharing his power with you. Not that he's just here and he wants you to worship him, but you ain't getting nothing out of it. You know, so a church, that's what it means. It's a place of cheer. You know. Now, you say lust?
Yes, sir.
You know, for every positive word in this English language, there's a negative. Or shall I say, every negative, there's a positive. Because we have developed this language especially for the Caucasian to enhance his nature, which is negative. So it has been used as far as that we can remember or allow it to be brought into existence to express negative. So negative was first with this language. However, there's another word that goes right along with it that expresses positive. So if we say lust, the positive word is love. So if you're going to lust after something, it is that you're doing it in a low manner. It's the lowest form of recognition of that particular thing that you're after. You see it in that form. That way you don't have to give no respect to it.
Yes, sir.
You understand?
Yes, sir.
And the other was what?
Fornication.
Fornication. It's receiving or taking something that don't belong to you, that's foreign or foreign to you, that belongs to someone else. Belonging to someone else is what makes it foreign. Fornication isn't always having another woman or woman having a man. The greatest fornication is fornicating with another way of recognizing God. You know, the people that have left, like, you know, I think it starts off in Revelation speaking about the 7 churches. And Allah's letting some of the people know he's writing these letters to some of these churches to let them know some of the things that he was pleased with them and doing and some of the things that he weren't. However, the greatest fornication is when you know the truth. You've been introduced to it and you can see everything about it is showing you that it is true. And then after a certain period of time, because it didn't develop the way that you thought it should develop and the speed that it should be, then you go and put that down and go pick up something else. You're fornicating.
Yes, sir.
Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
In other words, you're getting something that's foreign. You know, Jesus was a Muslim. Abraham was a Muslim. Moses was a Muslim. All of the prophets were Muslims.
Yes, sir.
They taught peace, Islam. And even when we gave Islam to Prophet Muhammad or sent it through him, what Jesus did at the particular time wasn't called Islam, it was just called peace. However, when we gave it to the open enemy so he wouldn't have no excuse that we didn't send to him the formulas of how to be right through a person that's just like him, then when we gave it to him and when we finished, we said, we let him know, upon this day we have completed our favor upon you. You may have this as a religion. You may have Islam as a religion. However, it's not. So when we leave that, we leave the truth, and go to something that seemingly is the truth, you commit fornication. You know, you commit fornication with another person. That isn't something that Allah holds as a great sin. Most of the time, both people had to consent. So it's like they did it with each other's permission. So if both of you all agreed, I mean, where does God come in? You see?
Yes, sir.
However, if you're going to accept the truth, you can't say, I accept the truth and then go get something else, because the thing that you're going to get did not agree with what you leave. So there's no agreement there. So now you got to pay for that fornication. If that answers the question.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
May I be seated?
Yes, sir, by all means. Anyone else? Now, if I'm confusing you, let me know, so we can straighten it out. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. How does one excel in this English language and stop using this indecent slang and ugly language?
Well, you have to purposely look for words that are positive. And you can make that, what I did with the ones that are around me, since, I hold classes in my home, and I used to hold them until they got their footing as to how they're to conduct themselves and how to use what's presented to them. And one of those things is language that we use. I made it a game. If you consciously look for the positive words, after a while it'll become very easy. It's not going to just, because you want to, just automatically pop up and you use it. You have to be really conscious to really make sure that you use the right words that express truth and no partner with it. In other words, you have to look for a word that's going to actually be positive and not negative. And if you actually go to do that, you'll come up with it. That's how you do it. You first got to have the will, and you got to have the patience to actually make yourself do that. Even when you speak to yourself. Don't wait until you go to speak to someone else. You wait in your own thinking. If you're using the slang language, stop it. Say, let me see if I can say this where there's no negative in it. And then you start paying attention to what you say, and you'll see it'll start to take shape. You start doing that. If you noticed, first place I said, I was accepted in the Nation of Islam on June 21st, 1970. So it means that I'm accustomed to the slang language. However, once I made my mind up that I was going to do all that I possibly could do to make sure I experienced things that are positive, so I went in motion to do it. Now, if you notice, I use the same words that other people do in the English language. However, the way they are arranged and how they are pronounced, there's a unique difference. So a lot of times people say, like the brother just said, just your voice. It's the voice. However, it's the arrangements of the words and how they're pronounced. I pronounce them with a freedom. Even if the word is pronounced wrong, you still pick up positiveness in it. You can feel me. You can actually feel it. I had to concentrate to do that. Because when I first started, I was a man of my word was true. However, there was no one to give a word to except the white man. Nobody else was doing anything. I would give it to my wife. Yeah, I'll be home at so-and-so time. If I didn't, I'd call up and say, listen, I can't make it because so-and-so and so-and-so. However, giving my word, I gave it to white folks. I would get the freight there on time. I would get it there on time. However, I never saw no reward from that. I only saw that they wanted me to be in their service more so because I kept my word to me and them, and they were benefiting from it. So I stopped. I said, wait a minute. I'm not doing this anymore. before I go any further, whatever knowledge I have, if I cannot benefit our own people, my own people, then I'm going to die. Dig a hole in it and just cover myself up. I'm not giving my energy or thoughts to white people no more. The way that I was doing it. So I started developing myself. And this was after the messenger was taken. When the messenger was here, I was in the nation. I was driving the long-distance trucks. So I never participated in the activities of white people. We had our own store, so I bought my own groceries there. And then when I did leave, go on a truck, we went from temple to temple, so we seen our own people. A lot of places didn't have restaurants, so they fixed the food in the temple, so they fed us in the temple. So it was almost like white folks didn't exist. Then when the messenger was taken, and then the supreme test came. The supreme test. How are you going to conduct yourself in his absence? And let's see who is really the real follower. Then everybody had to go back into, because Wallace came about divinely to push you back out to white folks. Now, if you truly accepted the message, you had to go back out with them. Now you got to say, well, man, especially if you've been used to being away from them, and you go back with them again. Now, you're somewhat righteous, so when you speak, you're giving your word. So during that time, it's almost like the pressure is going to make you either be right or wrong. You're either going to be right, or you're going to say, well, look, to hell with this rightness, I'm going to be with the world. Because it looks like Elijah's gone, he's not coming back, I don't see nobody doing anything, so I'll just go on out with the world. That's the period that determines who is who. So I didn't do that. I said, well, I'm going to be right. And I'm going to do it in such a way, I'm not going to allow nobody to make me do wrong. And I didn't do it. So today I'm standing before you. If that answers your question.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Could you share with me the meaning of the name Kevin Frazier?
Well, I don't know if I'll go into that today. It may take a little time, and I don't want people to lose interest.
Yes, sir.
Maybe you'll write me, and I'll write you back and let you know the name. Or if I have time, you see me, when I'm not on the roster, I'll give it to you. It takes a little time for me to go through the dictionary of names in my mind and find out what it is, and then give it to you. And then that's something that's very personal. The others may not want to know. So they'd be taking a nap while I'm trying to explain it to you.
Yes, sir.
But write me.
Yes, sir.
All right. Or you can even call me. If I'm home, you call me, you get an appointment, call me. I'm going to be more than glad to explain it to you.
Yes, sir.
All right?
Yes, sir.
Everybody all right? I don't want you to think that this isn't nothing. Because I'm not screaming and hollering and I'm not jumping up and down. I've done that. You still didn't come. So now I'm just talking with you. Yes, sir.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
First, I'd like to say thank you, Father. I'd like to say thank you for your coming to us here in America. And I'm living in a situation right now. I'm living in Santa Barbara. First, let me explain myself that I joined the nation in 1962 when I was about 18 years old. Went through the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and I went through Wallace, and then I just went out into the woods. I just come to see, I've heard a few of your tapes, and I haven't found anything in there to say that you are not who you say you are. I just come to see for myself, brother, And I could say that I've been waiting on you for, since the dawn of creation. Intuitively speaking now, I'm not,
Yes, sir.
So I just want to hear you say it directly to me, who you are, that's all. I mean, does that make any sense to you? If you are the God, well, I'm not trying to put you,
Yes, I understand.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking how best to say it so it will have the right impact and impression on your thinking. I am without a doubt the Supreme Being, the new Allah, the Allah of all Allahs, the Lord of Lords, the King of Kings. I am He. I'm the one that I'm the Savior that everybody's been looking for. I'm the Mahdi. I'm the Messiah. I am He.
Okay, second, I'd like to thank you for saving my life when I was about 21 years old. I don't know if that's appropriate. Whoever was involved in it, I was sentenced to die 4 times in the gas chamber, and I lived through that. Allah saved me through a lot, brother. I just wanted to say personally thank you.
Yes, sir.
At that time. And I've been through a lot of things then, and I wrote you a letter not too long ago. But I don't expect no personal favors or anything, but if you could send me a vibration to help me I'm kind of stuck right now. I'm living in Santa Barbara with predominantly white folks, and I did follow the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I love him, I still do. And I didn't slip, I just went into it. That's all I got to say in that area. But I'd appreciate if there's any way that you could send me because I'm still fighting death internally now, okay? And if you could just send me a vibration to keep me alive long enough until I can learn how to heal myself, I would appreciate that. And I'm going to ask your forgiveness for anything that I did to harm myself and anybody else in the universe. And any assistance that you can direct in my direction, I would appreciate that, brother. Because right now I'm struggling by myself with a few brothers where I'm living at. And, I just, need a little help.
All right, well, I'll answer your request. I remember your letter.
Oh, you do?
Oh, yes, sir. It was quite some pages. It was more than 1 or 2 pages, is it correct?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. If this is what's truly in your heart.
Yes, sir.
Now, I'm not saying I don't know. I want you to know. And if you really believe that I'm going to actually help you, it will happen. If you want to do this to test me to see if I'm going to help you, it won't work.
I ain't no test.
All right. Well, from the next 3 days after you return, relief should start coming to you personally, inside of you first. Then 21 days after that, you'll be able to explain it, where you'll be able to help others.
Thank you. I have more questions, but
you can come back.
I can come back?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'm Sister Taisha, Brother Donjel's mother.
Yes, ma'am.
And I have a question regarding his returning from heaven.
Yes, ma'am.
He thinks he got away with something when he came back, and that his chastisement was not physical.
Yes, ma'am.
My question is, what can I do or share with him to assist him in understanding the seriousness of what he's doing?
There's nothing you can do other than just be his mother. We're doing it. He thinks he knows you. There's nothing you can tell him, because he has evolved in his thinking above yours. But he's comfortable in thinking, well, mama's mom, and that's all she is. But we got it. Don't worry about it.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
You might have to take your heart, and put it in your shoes for a while. However, where we placed him when he was in heaven was a very special place, because he is a very special person. In his mind, we're moving too slow. But since we're his elders and we're looking at him, he's moving too fast. So in order for him to know that, we have to put him in a place so he can see. And when he sees, then you have your son, your real son.
Yes,
right.
sir.
Okay. Something else?
No, sir.
You sure? I'm not going to make it. I mean, you don't have to. You say that's it, that's it.
Yes, sir. I will make sure I word it properly. One of my concerns was when it's time for me to go, is he going to be able to go? How do I know if he's ready?
Save thyself. Any child that comes to heaven and stays in heaven over 6 months don't belong to you anymore. Belong to me. Well, if they come back in your presence because of a certain circumstance or situation, it is for the express purpose of teaching the child something. It is you that has to be saved. The child has stepped in and seen what saving power is. And it's so much his nature, it's almost like, well, he don't have nothing to do. With us that's been out here and been catching this hell and still catching it, and they get a taste of the saving power, we say, whoa, this is great. But to him, hey, when you going to do something? It's just the opposite. So if it's time for you to come, or time for you to leave, and he's not going to go, if he's going to stay with some of his relatives, or he's going to leave and tell you go ahead, he's got it, let him go. The children belong to me. And I most certainly know how to raise them.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
You're a child of mine also. You're an elder child compared to your son. So, look like you've gotten yourself much better shape also.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Has he been a help to you when he first got back?
Yes, sir.
So, did you see any change in him?
Yes, sir.
Now he's taking the knowledge that he's received and trying it in other ways?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Most scientists do that. Don't worry.
Yes, sir.
Anything else?
Yes, sir. What tribe am I from?
Did I do that today? Well, since you asked me, I'll give you yours. This would be the last one. You don't want to get angry with me, will you? All right. How long you been coming to the temple? Or are you coming?
Yes, sir. About 2.5 years.
You've been coming here 2.5 years?
Yes, sir.
You haven't asked me that before?
No, sir.
You're from the 10th tribe. Does that mean anything to you?
Not yet.
I know. Most people ask me that. They don't know what it means. You're in the family of God. From 1 all the way up to 13 is still my family. Okay?
Yes, sir.
So, it's a good tribe. Something else?
No, sir. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Next.
My name is Angela. Excuse me for my voice.
And
my name is Angela.
Okay.
And I really, really want to adopt or come into the idea for reasons that are serious, for reasons that are life-changing. I mean, to me, they're really serious. But I'm having like this stumbling block because I was raised to believe in God who judged. This one's good, this one's evil. You're going to hell, you're going to heaven. And I was always the bad one. I was always destined, you know where. And I'm wondering if you are the same God that I grew up believing in.
I'm the idea of that God. However, I'm not the God that people think of, but that they have in their mind. I'm not that God. I'm the idea that they have of God. Since God had to come in the last day to end all confusion concerning himself, this means everybody else before he came was confused. So regardless of what they were thinking about him, it wasn't right. It was just the fact that they do know that there is a God and he does exist. Now, in order for me to put it right in your own thinking, I had to show up. Physically show up. and then start physically explaining my existence and why. And then you could take the theory that you had and had been told and then put it in its proper place, and you say, oh, I see. Yeah, I understand now. Now, if that is not the case, you wouldn't be asking me that. You would already know. But regardless to how many people told you about this God, there's still always a question after you got the answer. With me, if you really listen to the answer, there's no more question about that question. So I am the God in theory, but not the way I've been portrayed by other people in your mind.
The God in my mind is a God that you fear. And you fear the repercussions of what's going to happen if you don't believe.
Well, that is true. However, I'm to be feared as I should be feared. And you have to fear me intelligently. I don't want anyone to fear me ignorantly. You know, well, if I go out and I curse somebody in the street, whatnot, God's going to get me. I ain't going to do nothing to you. Now, look at it. If the person don't do nothing to you, I ain't going to do nothing to you either. However, once you come into the understanding of what God is, who He is, why He is, and then you purposely disobey or try to insult Him, then you may have to pay for that. Or if you purposely stop someone else from knowing, then you would have to pay for that, because you are disrespecting me knowing it. It's like you're tempting me. I can't let you get away. That's why I say you don't tempt God. You just don't do that. So that's the only reason why you would get any type of repercussions if you hindered someone from coming to you, or especially after you know. Now, if you didn't know and you were doing it from your heart, and you really, like some of your grandmothers and some of the people, the clergies, and they think they really, they're so close to God, and you. That's in their mind and in their heart. Just for the honesty in their heart, I will come to them and say, well, listen, so-and-so is the case. And they say, well, no, it can't be. We've been doing this for so-and-so. It can't be. It's okay. I don't do anything to them. I just let them keep living. And all the things they thought couldn't, that she is. And all the things they see is and they thought wasn't, is. Or is not. Then they say, wow, perhaps I should listen to this man. He's got more than a notion here. If he keeps breathing, he's going to change. However, if he knows and then go out and do something opposite to keep people away, like Minister Farrakhan or Minister Lewis, he knows. But he knows you don't know. And since he thinks or he thought that we did him an injustice, he wasn't allowed to be Calypso Louis, because the messenger called him in to be a reminder. So it's like he lost something. He tells the story himself. It's like two doors. Which one was he going to go through? So he chose to go through the one that was black or had a veil over it. And it came out to be with the messenger or the Nation of Islam. The other door, he knew about it. Entertainment. Now, since he was with the messenger, he got a prime opportunity to learn. So much so, after the messenger passed, no one spoke the way he spoke. They didn't have the right nor the authority. Then, after I go and see him and let him know without a shadow of a doubt, I'm what you've been waiting for. The night is over. I didn't say it just like that because he wouldn't have understood. Then after he does finally understand, and he still does not allow the people to come, then he should be afraid. So anyone does that, in whatever proportion you're doing it, that's the only time you should fear me. Other than that, you don't have to fear me. If you go eat pig feet, you don't have to fear me. The pig feet gonna get you. I ain't gonna do nothing to you. If you come in, if you actually had the power to do something to my family personally, then that would really be a real fear you would have to have. However, I have them in such a protective bubble, no one could do anything like that. Other than that, you don't have to fear me. You know, everybody calls me Father, and I really am Father. So you can talk to me just like I'm really your father. I'm going to answer you just like your father. So you don't have to fear me. If there's a real whipping that you need, I'll send mother first. And then if she can't handle you, then I'll say, well, listen, daughter, I got to kind of touch you up there a little bit. You know. In other words, in the Bible it reads this way. But you must pay for some of the things that your hands have done, so that you might return. Meaning that you have already had to have been here first. You can't return to something that you've never been. So meaning that if you were in the nation, or if you were in the knowledge, and you bore witness that this is the knowledge, not a knowledge, the knowledge. And then, like what happened with us, the messenger was taken, so a lot of us strayed on, went on back out into the world. Now, while you're out there and you partying, you doing all this and everything, like the brother said, he could have, was in a death row or whatever. He didn't die. It didn't happen. But some of the things that he did, he had to pay for just to get his attention. Look, you're going the wrong way. And the sun is risen. Open your eyes. Darkness is gone. The minister is finished. He's the bright morning star. And if you ever notice, you go out, nice clear night, especially just before dawn, the star is bright. Look like it's the only star in the sky, just beaming. Oh, man, it's piercing. Stay there for about a half hour, 45 minutes. You start seeing another light coming up. It's not piercing, it's just engulfing. It's coming up, getting brighter and brighter, and the brighter it gets, the less you see that star. After a while, before you get to see the piercing of the sun itself, just the rays coming up, you don't see the star no more, it's gone. So what I'm saying, I'm here. I'm that sun. So you don't have to fear me. As long as you want to do right, you learn how to do it, just do it. And you won't fear me. I'll be with you, and I'll make sure that you're successful and happy. I don't get for real, I don't get no enjoyment out of punishing people. I really don't. That's why I set the punishment for this world already in motion, and I turned my back on it and walked on off. That's already set. I don't have to go readjust anything. I don't have to go back and see if it's working. It's set. I'm about building here first. You know, in our people. And anyone else that wants to be right, I'm about doing that. So I cannot build if I'm going to tear down. So I've already got the tear down motion already in motion. So it leaves me free just to build. So you don't have to fear me. Unless you're really wrong. And if you're just wrong to yourself, you still don't have to fear me. You know, if you go take some arsenic, I'm going to kill myself. See you later. You see, there is no real big loss if one of you are gone. If you feel so compelled to take your life, then take it. I haven't lost anything. You lost your life. I haven't lost anything. The earth has been rid of someone that don't deserve to be with me. You all understand what I'm saying? And if I were not God, I couldn't speak this way. I couldn't even think and speak this way. I'm not saying I don't care about you. I really do. If I'm going to show my love for you, I got to put something in motion that's going to take care of you constantly, perpetually, and continuously, like I do allow you to breathe. You know, if you're going to breathe, if you stop, you're going to die. So I have a system set up to make sure that works continuously. You don't even have to think about it. Now, if you're going to kill yourself, you got to think about how you're going to stop it. So you know, I'm a pretty good man. What's up now?
Just a tiny little clarification.
Okay.
Heaven is Kansas, correct?
Well,
I mean, that's where you guys are setting up the community. Excuse me.
Yes, ma'am.
No, I'm not going to use the right words. But you're acquiring a hotel in Maryland? What's the connection?
Well, Maryland is the headquarters. That's where, most of the time, that's where I am. And we're going to have quite a few people coming to see me. I don't intend for them to stay in somebody else's home when we can purchase our own. So if you come to see me and you are of any type of importance, I want to make sure that I show you that I see you as being important. I have a place for you. You don't go stay in some place. You got to ask for a non-smoking room. All the rooms are non-smoking. You got to ask for extra towels. I'll give you all you need. You need a chauffeur, you got to pay. No, just let us know what car's there waiting for you. Otherwise, you're not going to have no reason not to want to be here with me. I'm going to do you the same way I did the Queen of Sheba. She was so pleased, she said, bring back some more shiploads of goods for this man. Half of him was not told to me. So that's what I want to have that for.
Well, maybe I'm not quite clear. Why isn't the community and the headquarters in the same location?
Well, headquarters and the heart are in two different places, even on your body. Your solar plexus is the center of your body as far as collecting energy and dispersing it. Even when you eat from your head, it goes down to the center of your body into your stomach. And it's disseminated from there. Now, since most people at this particular time works best when they do not see the taskmaster, they only want to have the instructions and leave them alone and let them do it. But if the instructor is going to be there watching them, they're nervous. So it is best that the instructor be off and send the instructions so the people will do what they feel best in doing. And if there should be some correction in their instructions, it will come from another place and they will cherish it better. They won't feel guilty. They'll feel like they have work to do. However, if I'm right there watching, they feel guilty. They mess up being nervous. So it's best that I be off and I see what they're doing and I send word to them what they should do. And by them doing this, then they can say, well, this is what we are doing. Most people, when they talk about me, they don't say Father's doing this. And one of the white people that came to visit and see what we were doing there in heaven, and he was speaking to the secretary, and he said, one thing that I noticed about what you're doing, you very rarely speak up because my picture was on the wall. So he asked, who is that? Because the brother had to tell him, that's the spiritual head of what you're witnessing. He said, I noticed the whole time we've been talking, you very rarely say anything about him. That's very impressive. So let him know that I'm not holding nobody's slave. I'm not asking somebody to bow down and worship me. Mm-hmm. And the people that are there have that mentality. I want them to see the mathematics of how things are done, not see me. If I'm there, then another thing also. I'm so natural. If I'm around you, you'll forget that I am God. I mean, for real, you will. You'll start doing things. You start being very carefree. Because when you're with me, it's just something about my aura makes you carefree. You want to go to sleep. You feel just so comfortable. If you do wrong, it's like, ain't nothing really going to happen to you. For real. So it's best for me to make sure I stay away while you grow. After we have developed quite a few things, then I can make my presence known. And we will have grown mentally enough where I can be around and I won't be intimidated. You see? So the people in Maryland that come and see me, they'll come and visit and leave. But if I'm right down in heaven, they're not visiting, they're there. So I have to go visit and leave. If that answers the question. And we're going to have all over the United States. This is my playpen. I'm still not a man yet as being God. I'm still developing. Because I'm bringing you with me. It's not that if I want to, I can stand right before you and become myself, and then all of you would perish. I didn't come here for that. So I come to come down with you and come back up and bring you with me. So that's what I'm doing. But perhaps I'm getting such hearty claps because they know this is true. There are many things that I could do. However, anytime I do anything that's out of time and what I've planned, it always comes back on me. So then I almost got to fight my own power. So I'm not stupid, so I don't do that. So that's what's taking place. We own it all. And this is 2,000 by 3,000. We do what has to be done to show the world that the black man here in North America actually is the new man. We are the new people. You are the people that is actually genetically coded to take this new knowledge that I have for you, this new reality, this Revelation 21. All things are made new. He makes all things new. All of the former things are passed away. Not that I just cut it off and it was gone. It passed away, meaning that we gave you time to grow out of it, and after you grew out of it, it's gone. It's not in Africa, it's no place but right here. This is the home and the heart of the devil. Satan's most faithful worker is right here in North America, and almost, I'll be safe to say, is in California. Satan is really prevalent here himself. So I'm coming up, and the Bible says he put away his power and came. He took on dyed garments and came for the express purpose of bringing you back up as he's collecting his power back. So that's what's happening. Okay?
I thank you for your time. It was a great start. I mean, I have other questions, but I don't want to monopolize, but thank you for your time.
Take one more.
Take one more?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you define what the black man is? Can you tell me what you think a black man is?
What he is?
Yeah, what's he composed of? I mean, physically, mentally, the whole nine. Would I qualify as a black man, other than my blood running through my veins? And I'm sure you wouldn't understand what I'm saying, but you understand what I'm saying, probably.
Yes, ma'am. You mean, would you qualify as a black person?
Mm-hmm.
Is your father Caucasian?
Both my parents are African, well, they're Canadian. They look white, and I came out black.
But they're what you say?
They look white. Like,
no, what are they?
They're black. Because my father says I'm 1/16 black. And I really don't want to talk about this in front of everyone, but okay, here we are. I'm 1/16 black. My parents are black, but I look a lot more black than my parents do. And I grew up in Canada. I was the only black child in my school. The reason I talk a little different after this is because I come from a different environment. And sometimes I feel a little shaky or out of place with the black man. And you know what I mean? If I went into that whole situation, being surrounded by people who, of course I'm comfortable, they're my people, I love them, but not really, because sometimes I just don't feel, I don't want to say I don't feel black. I just don't feel like I have a common ground.
Well, that comes from your rearing or being raised the way, where you were raised.
Well, can I make this one point too? And say I went to Kansas, right? I would be surrounded by people that I can relate to. We're all human beings, we all love each other, we're all black. But in another way, I'd always feel like an outsider.
Well,
now, everyone knows my inside.
That's the same thing as me having a sister or brother that I'd never known. And I can only prove that they're my sister or brother because my parents told me, or my uncle, or someone that knows that they are my brother and sister. We never grew up together, so we don't have that tie, other than just the bloodline. As far as the mental relationship, we don't have it. So I would always feel as though this is my sister, but she's not. So that's what you were explaining as far as the black people or the black man is concerned. And what constitutes a black man? He must be original. He's got to come from the originality of God and his purpose and the material that he used. In other words, the nature of the black man is a righteous man. His nature, not his actions at this time. He has enough power. He had enough power to actually put away his righteousness to go under the foot of an unrighteous person. And no one, since there's been creation, has done that and then come back to be back into their power again. So he's definitely the God of the universe, especially this planet. Now, as far as your situation is knowing the black man is not being himself yet. If you're going to say, well, I want to see a black man, you have to look at me. And there's no way you can make me feel uncomfortable. I don't care even if you were white. I would feel a little bit better because you're black. Because it would let me know you are capable of doing more than if you were white. In other words, black people are the fathers and mothers of all civilization. No other people can take that claim because they couldn't do it. The brown man can't make no black man. No other race can produce the black man. However, the black man produced it all. And he did it for a reason, not because he just slipped up and accidentally came upon it. He did it, he mathematically calculated this and did it. I don't care how much math they use, they can't make no black person. And by doing this, it means that whatever is made in the universe or created, it was done specifically to serve the black man. So if this is true, which it is, this means we got to have something that's within us that makes us worthy or give us the strength to deal with such reality. You know, we were sitting in a restaurant this evening, just before I came here, and the sun was going down, and the restaurant had this blinds are open, and the sun was coming in, and my wife loves to sit in the sun, and I kind of like it myself. And a party of Caucasians came in, and they sat down to the table next to where the light was coming in the window. They sat there for a few moments, and the first thing they did was reached up and closed the blinds. I looked at him, and he looked at me. I read him, he read me. I let him know, man, I was enjoying the sun. And he let me know, man, I can't stand the sun. So, well, okay, I understand. You understand what I'm saying? In other words, black isn't black just because it's black. We are the mother and fathers of all civilizations, all of it. Ain't no ifs, ands, and buts about it. There's no one that could ever have gone under what we in this country have gone under, and we're still here. This man, the opposite man of us, has tried to kill us in every way that he possibly could think of. He's known as a destroyer, not just buildings. He wants to destroy God. You know, this Caucasian here is the only Caucasian on the planet that's going out in space doing what he's doing. Russia goes out too, but now they got in a situation they can't go out no more. Poverty's got them. This man's still going out. What's got him still going out there? And why is he going out there? Who permitted him to go? What is he looking for? He's trying to find out what we are doing to keep up with us, or try to fix up some kind of defense to knock us out of the park, and Russia is looking at him to try to keep up with him. But he's saying, live for Russia. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do with these little small planes and this mother plane, because the time is fast coming. I'm going to have to deal with them. How am I going to do it? Forget Russia. So the white man in North America is looking at God, and the bear is looking at North America. The white man in Russia is looking at, so they don't believe in God, so they say. So if they don't believe in, they ain't looking for him. This man knows that there's a God. So he's constantly trying to figure out, how can I get him? Let me look in the scope here. Let me go out here and peek. See what he got here. I got to get him, because I know he's coming. He's going to get me. I've already been sentenced to death, and I can't change it. So what can I do to take his people with me? Now, since I wasn't allowed just to kill them outright, let me kill them in the water. Let me kill them even in the fingernail polish. So when you put it on, you become sterile. You didn't know that, did you? He's after you. While he's smiling in your face and tell you, this is a bargain, 50% off. And you go paint your fingernails and come back, and you keep doing it. That's why you keep wrong. Something's wrong. You go to the doctor, he look at you. I can't find anything. There's no evidence. Or have you been eating pork? Yes, I'm eating pork. Be off the pork. Well, the pork is killing you too. However, the fingernail polish, what he's got in it, is really killing you. Because he wants to kill you. He wants to have the satisfaction of seeing you go into the abyss of hell with him. So God will be standing up saying, man, I lost them all. So he'll go down laughing. But that ain't going to happen. It wasn't predicted to happen. The only people that he's taking with him are the people that don't want me. And if they don't want me, I don't want them. The main thing for you and anyone that's in your situation is just to know that you're human. You should always be looking to see what is right and be in harmony with that. Now, you don't look white to me. You know, if your conscious mind hasn't really tied into the experiences of what black people have gone through, Maybe you're at a time where you don't have to. Tie it in with me. Because what you see today as a black man, if they stay with me, tomorrow they're not going to be that way. So then...
I'm just saying, part of the reason I'm probably here is because I do look black, and then I do acknowledge I'm black. So I'm not. But I have a blonde-haired, blue-eyed man for a father, and I have a woman that looks like Bernadette Peters. And, it's just, and when you're raised with that and stuff like that, it's scary to be in this situation and saying, okay, that's part of the idea, and I'm going to plunge into it anyway.
Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. You just do all you can do to be right. Did you call my house? You didn't? Okay.
Promise.
Okay. But don't worry about that. Don't let that be a concern of yours. If you're here, the opportunity to be all you can be and right is before you. Don't worry about if your father, what color he is, or what color his eyes is. Don't worry about that. You could not stop that. If that was the agent that you came through and come here and had your birthday or your earth day here, then you make the best of it. And since you're here at the time when God himself is here, and you don't look to be someone that is afflicted with some type of disease, meaning that you have some type of youth about yourself, energy, and I'm the God of life. Just show me life and I'll increase it. That's all you got to do. All right?
Thanks.
Yes, ma'am. Does she have a seat? Oh, okay.
Well, I'm very happy to see you here today, this evening. I have brought a couple of guests, and I see they're not asking you any questions. However, knowing one of them, because they're a relative of mine, he's experienced the same thing I experienced in my family, and that was having 5 females as aunts and mothers who kept the males in the family from Islam except myself. You were going to bring out a tape on the females' distaste for this knowledge that the messenger started through Allah in the person of Master Muhammad. However, that tape hasn't come out yet. And however, would you elaborate on why the black female, has such a distaste for this knowledge, and especially finding out that God is the true king, the natural man, and the living God?
Well, I haven't really brought the tape out, or I haven't really spoken on it with any type of clarity because of the slow awakening of the black man. It's enough on him now that the white man is against him by nature, and he's still dependent upon white people to do whatever he got to get done. Even Michael Jackson depended upon white people to keep his wealth going. It's not so much black people he depended upon. If he did, he wouldn't be going all overseas, over in China and Japan. So the black man hasn't really got strong enough to hear this about his mother. So I've been kind of reluctant to actually speak concerning that. However, during the time of what's coming up, anything that was to be gained for the family, usually the mother got it, or the female. She was allowed to be closer to the master than we, so she got more favors. And at the same time, she saw him as being the man, and us as being the boy. And as today, if we're going to really look at it, too much of that has not changed. We still look like the boy and act like the boy. Even though the devil is the devil, he's still a man at it. He's a builder. He's a destroyer. He makes whatever he wants to make. He makes it. He makes a false god. He makes it. So she sees this as the man. So when there's something being brought up that's against her man, automatically she goes into a defense mode. Here's this boy going to stand up against his father? No, I'm not going to let you do that. It is my duty as being a woman to make sure that I rear the children properly. And the proper thing to do is to make sure that you don't upset the apple cart. So you're going to be a good boy. If you don't, I'm going to call the man on you. And as far as this other man that's down there talking about he's God or some Islam or Muslim, that's against my man. So I shall not have you live in my house speaking that garbage. So you're going to have to leave, or you have to leave that stuff alone. That's why they speak it. However, the black man has to come out from that. That's the way you believe, Mom? Fine. I got to go. I just hope and pray that Allah allows you to live long enough for you to see the real man. This man that you call man, if he were really a man, you wouldn't be suffering the way you are, or you wouldn't have to witness me as being your child or your son going through all this misery. What kind of man do you really have? But they don't see it that way in literally speaking to them concerning that. They just have it automatically in their mind. Here's a man that's in power, so I'm automatically by nature going to gravitate to the man that has power. Black man, you don't have no power. Even this man saying he's God or whatnot, I don't see what you're doing yet. Oh, so you got a restaurant. You got a few other things. So, plenty of white people spend more on toilet paper than you do on your whole nation. So you ain't said nothing. In their mind, they're not looking at what was promised. They don't see us as being the man that was here and made a promise to let another man step on his neck for a certain period of time, then throw the man off. Of course, he set it up. So we fall in the trap. However, now, since the man is here, and I'm doing the manly thing against even the brothers and the sisters, so I got to be the man. White folks don't want this. Black people don't want it, especially the black woman. She don't want this, and I'm still being successful. So it only takes a little while. They will see. I'm going to get in, after you grow a little more and you really start to understand what's really taking place, then I will let the black woman know exactly what she has to do. And I'm not going to give her no mercy in doing it. Because they are very loyal to our open enemy. They will call and drop a dime on you in a minute. Then go to court and slice your neck off. Hand the judge the razor. They got to turn that loyalty around and put it with us. They're man. They are not a woman. They're not a queen. They're not a goddess. If they're not with the God, they're man. They're God. But they don't see you as God. And that's what is an irritant to me and a stench in my nostril. When we make a man powerful, as what the minister was, and then he goes in cahoots with Satan, and then he takes the black woman and elevates her even higher out of her position. So it's a damnable thing that's taking place. However, we got to come through this. I don't worry about it because, like I say, destruction is already set. It's already set. And I'm not saying, for those of you that are here, very good. And there's nothing greater than a man would love to do than to show his woman how much man he is. We love to give you all that we have the power to give you, all that you can stand. That's what we really want to do. We want to put you in a home and then let you decorate it. We want to make it where, I have a wife, I have wives, but it's almost like they're not married. Because I'm so much of a man, I don't put no restrictions on them. Well, you can't talk to Jerry. You better not be talking to Harry. And leave Tom alone. And you call me, let me know where you're going and when you want to go. I don't do that. I don't do that at all. I teach them what is and what isn't. Then I show them how much power they have in doing that. If they say, well, listen, I want to go to the theater, and Jerry offered to take me. I said, well, what are you going to see? Well, we're going to see the Terminator. What time are you going? Well, we're going 2 o'clock this afternoon. Who's going with you? Well, I thought I would take his wife. Or I would take so-and-so. Well, enjoy yourself. Do you need any money? Yes, but I don't have none. I let them go. If that's what they really want to do. Now, if I really don't want them to go, then I give them a choice. I said, well, if I were you, I wouldn't go today. It might not be the best time to go. I'm going to be doing so and so and so and so. Perhaps you'd like to be with me, or see if you can postpone it until next week. They have a choice. Now, if they tell me, well, look, I just fell in love with, I just got to go. I said, well, baby, my heart is hurting. But if I couldn't hold you, I can't hold you. Just don't talk about me when you leave. How you going to keep them if they don't want to be there? If what you're doing is not making them stay with you because they want to, you ain't got them in the first place. Right? Now, if you're a real man, this means you're doing something that once they see that you have morals, principles about yourself that you will not break on you for yourself, then they say, I got a man. And if you're teaching them during the course of this while you're maintaining your uprightness, not telling them but teaching them, then they see, well, I know what to do, what not to do. I know that there is a God. I know that I don't have to tell him everything I'm doing if I'm doing it right. If I'm doing it wrong, I don't have to tell him. He's going to find out. It's best that I do tell him. You're not going to be with me. I don't care if you're my wife or you're my brother. If you're really with me, you're not going to do wrong and think I don't know it. I'll set up a situation. You come tell me yourself. You come crying, tears, you have your heartbeat beating, you have a headache, you know, you're shaking and nervous. I have to calm you down. It ain't that bad. What is it? And then when you tell me, I say, that's all you got to do so and so and so and so. However, it was very important that you confessed it. Because it was big to you, so it was big. To you. To me, it was small. So I got to, in turn, make it small to you so you know not to do that anymore. It's for your benefit, not mine. So when we start to be men, the black woman can't help it. She's just automatically going to gravitate to us. It's just the pain we got to go through to do this. Because they think they know so much. They just know so much. And you know, I got matter of fact, 4 grandchildren that's with me. My elder daughter had some children. She wouldn't take care of them. Her mother has made her to think that whatever her father's doing is not right. I've really lost my mind. So she stayed out there to the point where she could not take care of her children. She let everybody else keep them, even the grandmother, for the money. Never even considered asking the grandfather or asking me. So when they got with their uncle on their father's side, and the burden got to be so heavy on him, then he thought, wait a minute, you got a grandfather. Let's call him up and see if he'll take you off. I said, well, bring him on. When they got there, they started telling me they were devout Christians. They're going to tell their grandfather how crazy I am. But they couldn't prove nothing they were saying. I didn't say, well, that's wrong. I just said, prove it. Well, Jesus Christ is Lord. Prove it. Well, he died for our sins. Prove it. After I kept asking them questions, they get to see, wait a minute. Let me turn this around. Let me ask you. And I started, every time they asked me, I answered. Now they're so happy they don't know what to do. However, the people, the state that's taking care of them, he wasn't supposed to send them to me without getting their permission. So the checks were still going to him, but I had the people. I had my grandchildren. They found out. Then now they want to send it to me. They want me to come and go through all these questions and what am I going to do and do I have means to take care of them and do I carry capital punishment or whipping them? Or I said, these are my grandchildren. If they want to be with me, then I'm going to teach them. They call them up and they want to ask them, are you being treated right? They speak so intelligently to them, the people are amazed. They're amazed. However, that's my grandchildren from my daughter, my oldest daughter. Because of what the females have done, My sons are not with me. And if it had gone on the same way, my grandchildren from that particular daughter would not be with me. You see? So I haven't escaped that either. But it don't make no difference to me because I know there's no place to go. Ain't no place to go. Even the people that is questioning me, are you beating them? Are you beating them? They're going to have to come and say, well, will you whip me too? And I'll say, well, I'm already doing it. Check the weather. A little humor. If that answers your question about that.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Father. Father, one more question.
Before you do.
Yes, sir.
You said you were raised with how many females?
5, sir.
5?
Yes.
And you have one other male that's with you? Or he's in the same situation?
He's of my family. He's my cousin. And I was the only one that accepted the messenger. However, I attempted to take everyone to Miles 27 at the time in the 70s to hear the messenger. I did one of the things the messenger had told us not to do was offer them the money to even come hear the messenger. However, no one came except my sister, and then she didn't accept either. And I was put out of my father's house. Went through the whole situation at that time that young Muslims were going through, and had to stay in the FOI house with a rooming house with Muslims at a very early age.
Or the same thing is now happening with him?
No, sir. He's here now. Allah Himself is here. When he had the messenger was there at the time, and now it's got to catch up. It's like he's stuck on Lewis, and so much he's missed. There's so much he's got to know. There's so much, as you shared with us, the devil's going to be on his knees by the year 2000. The money, the illusion of power, everything is about to go to zero. And there's so much for him to catch up with. I would love for him to see the idea, to really get this, and not let any of the females, every time I see him, he's constantly having problems with his female, and every other brother that I talk to is having problems with the female. They're always intellectualizing them out of their originality. No, the white man's not the devil. The white man's money's going to be here forever, and ain't nobody's going to take over his skyscrapers, and on and on and on and on, and they believe it.
Well, let me say this if I may. First, I have a question. How many of you that are here does not believe that the white man is the devil? How many? You don't believe he's the devil? All right, so we have 1. 2. What makes you think he's not? Neither one of you, if you don't mind.
No, sir, Father.
Yes, ma'am. All right. Wait a minute. Let me ask you it again now. And I want you to really think. Because your answer, what you're really saying, you don't want him to be devil because it would be self-incriminating. That's not what I asked. Why don't you believe that he is the devil? The white man, period. Yes, ma'am.
It's overwhelming to believe
Okay.
I've studied white people in detail. I really have. We all do, because we have to deal with them every day. And some are compassionate, some are hateful. They have the same characteristics as black folks do, or Asian people do. And to throw the finger and judge them and say that they're the devil, I'm not comfortable with that. And I can't say, yes, they are the devil.
Okay. However, that's still not what I asked. All right, let me ask you this. What do you think devil is?
I really don't think there's a devil. I think there's bad. I think there's evil. I think, there's big polar extremes.
So you really don't think that there is a devil?
I don't think that there's some secret conspiring force, and this is going to be so unpopular to say here, behind the scenes, controlling and trying to wipe out black people or brown people or anyone but themselves.
We've got some growing to do. It's fine to think in the absence of absolute, or in the absence of searching for, or in the absence of evidence that you have not collected. And when you say you have studied white people and they express the same characteristics as what we do, turn it around. We express the same characteristics as they do.
Okay.
However, if we were left alone to express our characteristics, you've never seen it. So it looks like everybody's doing the same thing, so where could it be a devil? If everybody's doing the same thing, so how do you say these people are a devil and you're not? That's because everybody looks like they're doing the same thing. But the standard of how things is to be done is the Caucasian. He puts it out.
Can you define what a white person is? Are they like pure, Aryan-blooded, no mixing in their background at all? Or are they, here again, we're getting to definitions of what's black and what's white, and I get really confused.
Okay. First thing, are you all up with this? Not too slow for you.
Right.
And this is very, very important. Because as long as you cannot identify who your enemy is, you'll always be his victim. To explain what the white man is and who he is or how he got to be that way. It's written about in the Bible, in the Quran, that we brought about all races or all nations from one blood, meaning one man. And that man was the black man. So we brought all other people from us. During the process of that taking place, the white man was the last person that was actually to be the end of that process. So it made him weak in the form of having will to do right. So the proper term, it says, he became weak and wicked because he didn't have the strength to do right. Now let's ask yourself, if that's not the truth, who is it that's got the world in the condition that it is? He's in a position to have power to make it right if he would do it. He was in the position to keep it right if he would have done it. But he didn't. He made it wrong. Matter of fact, since we planned this and we made it where he could do this, we made sure that he expressed his nature just the way he wanted to do it. This is why we set aside this piece of land here. It's a big island. North America's a big island. It's much bigger than the island of Pelon where we made him. So when we sent him over here, wasn't nobody here but the Indians. And the ones that came over was the riffraff, or the lowest of their community. And they established themselves here for the express purpose of doing away with the righteous man. The book says that after 1,000 years, we loosed the devil. In other words, we tied him up for 1,000 years. And then after that 1,000 years is up, we let him go so he could run havoc over the earth. The place that influences the earth the most comes from the White House. The White House with the white man there. So if there's any misery going on, It's coming from their persistence and constant forcing it. Also, even with us, even you not having a real tie to the black man, it didn't come from the black man. We would have loved to have told you, but now you just learned it. And just saying, well, the devil. Most people think the devil is somebody running around with horns. He got a pitchfork. All he's thinking about is doing something crazy, and he wants to stick you, and he wants to give you bad dreams. And that's not what the devil is. That same perception that they told you that God is this and God is that, they also told you the devil is this and God is the devil is that. So the one that told you about it was the devil. Right. So he's not going to tell you the truth about God or him. However, you can't get away from his actions. He got a record to bear witness he ain't righteous. And because you work with a couple people in the office and they can treat you right, what you call right, or be nice to you, and some of them don't have to be, they can afford to be good to you. Some of them. Because the core of them is rotten. So why not let a few of them be good to you so they can keep you confused? Why don't the people that is in power be right? Why aren't they good like that one in your office? Good. Why don't they be good so everything can be good? They got the power to do it. Ain't nobody making them be wrong. They make their own self be wrong. Because they can't help it. That is their nature. And since their nature is opposite of that of the righteous, they automatically become the devil of the righteous. It ain't no nasty term. It ain't no hateful term. It ain't no pointing fingers. It's just recognize what really is. And where did the word come from, devil, if there ain't no such thing? If there is no such thing, and you know, that's almost as prevalent and well known as there is a God. You know, you say there was God, and people believe there is a God. But when it comes to devil, you don't believe it's a devil? If it ain't, God must be missing something. If it ain't no devil, why he let this get the way it is? If it wasn't a devil, why is it's written that God said, in the last day, I will come? He must wasn't here. If he got to come. So if he wasn't here, who was here? It's got to be the opposite of him. And what took place and what is taking place is bearing witness that he wasn't here. It had to be somebody that's here that's just the opposite of God. So now God got to come and say, look, your time is up. I told you I'm going to keep you pinned up for 1,000 years. Then after that, I'm going to let you loose for a short while. So we kept him pinned up for 1,000 years. That was during the time of Prophet Muhammad. Islam kept Christianity pinned up. After the 1,000 years is up, we let him come over here. You know, you talk about Prophet Muhammad of 1,400 years ago. 400 of them years, the devil was loose. And he wreaked havoc on the black man here in North America. And he's still doing it. You know, the people that control the stoplights out here, Wall Street, going out in space, it ain't the black man. So if he can go out in space, why we got to be in this little place talking? I mean, he got big cathedrals, large. He know I'm God. He knew it before y'all did. Matter of fact, he knew it before I did. Before I'm in this physical body that you're looking at, he already knew. He already knew. They got think tanks. And they're not thinking about how to make a dollar. They're thinking about how we're going to get black folks not to accept this man. So what have I done so wrong, or the messenger did so wrong, that he shouldn't be accepted? The messenger didn't come and say, well, I want all white folks to follow me. He said, no, white folks is the devil, black man, you're God. Come on, let's be God. That's what he said. He said, and don't go messing with the white folks. Let's get over here and build something. Ain't no need to hate them. God's going to take care of that. Don't worry about it. But what did he do? The same thing like they did in the Ten Commandments. Pharaoh said, let no one speak the name of Moses. You don't hear white people talking about Elijah. They don't endorse no one that does talk about Elijah. They don't want the name of Moses or Elijah to be spoken. They almost make it a law. Who does that other than a devil? It's just that those of you that don't know he's the devil, you've been tricked. You're still in a trick. And the only trick that you can be tricked about is it tricking you about the knowledge or the reality of Allah or God. I would suggest that you get the video, I think it's Usual Suspect. Usual Suspect. Get that video. It might start off a little slow, but bear with it. The man tells the truth. And one of the things he makes in that the devil does it in such a way he makes you believe that he don't exist. And as long as you believe he don't exist, then he can do anything he wants to do to you. Because you think it ain't him. It ain't no such thing as the devil. You might say, well, black folks are devils too. If they are, they're acting that. They're not devils, they're acting that. And that's why it's written in the Bible that you were born in sin and then baptized in it. Not that you were born a sinner. And when Jesus was talking to the Jews, he didn't say, well, look, he wasn't talking to black people. He was talking to white people. He said, well, if you were of my father, you would love me. But you are of your father, the devil. So if your father's the devil, what can he be? If Jesus said it way back then, it's in John, I think John 8 or whatever. You know, the devil put it in the Bible. But he want to make you think it ain't him. He's just as righteous. Everybody's righteous. So if anybody go to heaven, it's just that particular person was righteous, so that particular person got a chance to go to heaven. No. God saying, my people lose their life for the lack of knowledge. My people means it's got to be a certain type of people or a certain nature of people that is his. It's like, well, this is my family. White folks ain't my family. They don't even look like me. So I can't say Uncle Harry or Aunt Jane. I can say, well, I can recognize them as being a being, and I got to treat them right. Now, most of the time when I start dealing with white folks, you always got to end up protecting yourself. It ain't that you do them wrong, they coming against you. So you got to protect yourself. Then you got to go get one of them to fight for you, his brother, called the lawyer. You see? So you tell me there's a whole system set up that the devil got set up. You can go out here today, just what we heard all that noise. I didn't set that up. That's not from me. The cigarette business, he knows it kills you. It's a business. You know God set up nothing like that that's righteous. Alcohol, by the tons and gallons of it. Then they have a sign up there, no drinking and driving. Well, why make the drinks? You save a whole lot of money, you don't have to put the sign up. You see? So he's made a business out of devilishment because he's the devil. And it ain't no, it ain't got nothing to do with hate. Nothing to do with that. You got to be intelligent today. You got to know who your enemy is so you know how to protect yourself. If you're trying to protect him because, well, this is a human being just like me. He's a being, but he's not human. Well, he's a man just like me. No, he's mankind. You're the man. You see? He's a person just like me. No, he's a son of perdition. You're the person. So, this is what makes it very good being with the real God. I want you to know things for the express purpose of knowing it, not for you to hate it. And I don't mean, you go to work tomorrow and you look at the people that you work with and look at them, oh, these are devils. That is not going to make you see them as devils. What you got to do is go and say, well, look, I've got more power now. Now I know why they do what they do. And if you think you got a friend with one of them, let that evil one you think is evil mess with you and see if the friend stands up, especially if it got something to do with their job. They act like, I can't say nothing. After you get by yourself, they'll tell you, well, he knows he's wrong. I don't know why he did this. But they're not going to say a word in front of the person that's doing you in. Because secretly, that's their nature. They like what the other person is doing. It's just that they ain't got nerve enough to do it. You see? Now just look at the president in the White House. Here you got another man that's just dogging the man out. to be for some selfish reason. If my wife goes out and do something wrong, why am I going to tell my children, for my children to look down on her as though she's nothing? You see what I'm saying? That can't be no act of God. So that's why I ask you, what makes you think they're not? If you say, well, because my father, and that would make me, forget that. The door is open for all, even him. If he condemned himself to death, he does it. I'm not saying I'm here, I'm going to kill all white folks. If they get killed, they chose that, not me. I really do have death on the march. And it's consuming everybody that wants to be consumed. However, if you remember, it's written, and I hope I'm not taking too long. It's written already in prophecy that the stranger helped me. And the stranger is the white man. In other words, he's strange to whatever is right. We make a garden for him, we put him in the garden, say, Adam, all this is yours. But that tree there, don't eat that. Don't eat off of that tree. Okay, God. God goes on off. He comes back to visit Adam. First he feels a tremble in the forest. What's happening here? Let me go check on Adam. He goes back and check on Adam. Comes out. Adam, where are you? All before, when he comes up, Adam is there greeting him. Oh, nice to see you, Lord. He comes back this time, he can't find Adam. He goes, Adam! Oh, Adam! Yes, Lord. Where are you? He's hiding. Now he comes back and says, well, listen, everything that I asked you not to do, you doing it. What's your excuse? Well, it was the woman you gave me. And he's been doing that ever since. We get our woman to make sure that we don't rise. And you one of them. As long as he can keep our women thinking that he's all right or he's okay, he is not the devil. He's an okay man. And this makes it, in your mind, legitimate to keep us down or keep us in our place. Like, I dare you say you God and then point your finger at this man and say he's the devil. Why not? It's the truth. Now, if it happens to be that your father is one, that's not your fault. The door is still open for you. And your father too, if he wants to. But he has to want to. Even the black, I'm not going after the black man. I'm going after the 144,000 that was stayed with the messenger or that loved the message. I'm really after them. The rest of the black men, 144,000, is nobody. According to the number of the black man that's here, 144,000 is nobody. I'm after them. And it's written, if it were not for the sake of the elect, there would be no flesh left. Let's suppose you really are talking to the Supreme Being. Let's suppose you really are. And I'm saying, backing up what is in prophecy, if it were not for the elect, what makes the elect? What determines who is the elect? Is it because it's the 7-day Adventist and they talk like there's the 144,000? They got almost that many in one church. So what is it that makes the elect, or the remnant? It's got to be the people that came and listened to Elijah just before that great and dreadful day of me. And then when I was telling Daniel about Elijah, I said, go thy way, Daniel, and wait until the appointed time. So this means that even after the messenger came and gave the message, or he was raised up and gave us the message, and then we took him from us and allowed his son to come in and made everything desolate, and we even gave the time. How many days it would take for him to do that? We gave the time. And then how many days it would take for the ones that were actually the 144,000 to be sealed after that time. It's right there in Malachi. Or in Daniel, I think it is. It's in the book. We have lived that. Now that Lord that is actually bringing about that great and dreadful day, you're looking at it. You're looking at it. So I come to bring you out with great substance after this 400 years of the slime that came here in this country. The abyss of the devil's thinking expressed by this white man here in this country. A man that's heartless. Almost 400, at least 300 some years, he had you in chattel slavery. May not have had you because you was in Canada. Another country. They still talking about the king and the queen. Down here, king and queen of what? They have no king and queen. And they're so cantankerous. Even if the man is brilliant, they give him maybe 2 terms in office. 8 years. If he's really brilliant, why not keep the man there? But no. I want a chance to be God because I know my time is up. So if you stay there, I can't promote what I want to do. You see? So it's today you got to think. You just can't go on your feelings. And because you talk with them, I talk with white folks. I have a lot of fun when they're comical. They are. They're comical. Them people is crazy. You know, and sometimes I have to, you know, if I go around them, I can't stay for so long because I get a burnout. I have to leave. You know, because after a while it gets to be sickening. But they do a bunch of dumb stuff. You know, you go in the restaurant today, I hope I'm not talking too much. I'm saying this so you will see. Because these are things you do every day. If you go to a restaurant, it used to be you go to a restaurant and you say, well, I want a meal. They bring you everything as one. Now you go to a restaurant, you sit down, they have a table for 2 or for 4. If it's only 2, the table is so small. But we say, well, I want a bowl of bean soup. They're bringing this bean soup in a bowl. They bring you a bowl with toast on it. They bring you a bowl with something else on it. They bring you a glass of water. They bring you a glass of juice. The table, now you got 2 people. The table is running out. They still ain't brought the main course. Because they have separated everything. God is one. He's not fractionalized. Everything they do is fractionalized. Everything they do. You go to buy a car, you think, well, they tell you, well, look, so-and-so cost you so-and-so. You go to get it. Then you look at the bottom line, it's $1,000 more than what they say. Well, where did this come from? Oh, well, you got to pay for this, you got to pay for that, you got to pay. I thought all that came with the package. Oh, no. Righteous people don't do that. They don't do that. And if I were not righteous, I would say, yes, I'm angry with white folks. I want to kill them. I ain't angry with them. I'm angry with the black man and the black woman. This white man has done exactly what he's supposed to do. He has done it. And he did it well. And if I'm successful as much as he has been, I certainly will save you. This man, he has obeyed me. We made him to be a rascal, and he has done it. Even when we went to him and said, listen, I am about to make this powerful son of truth. Are you all listening?
Yes, sir.
You sure?
Yes, sir.
I'm about to make this son of truth. Now, how can I say this? Because the white man's been here over 6,000 years. I'm only in my 50s. So we go to him and tell him, say, look, your time is up. So we get ready to make this man that's going to rule you and the rest of the planet. Will you submit? The brown man said, yeah, I'll submit. The yellow man said, well, yeah, I'll submit. The Indian said, well, if I can be a partner with him, I'll submit. Yeah, that's what he said. That's not written, however, that's what he said. Got to the white man and said, will you submit? He said, no. You didn't make me to do that. You made me a ruler. I can't submit. Now you tell me if that ain't a devil. Here's the Lord telling him, I'm making him. I made you. Now I'm going to make another man. Will you submit to this man since you're already here? And I'm going to make this man out of black mud. Not that he actually went to a field and got some black mud and made it. The mud is the mud that this white man has produced as a civilization. It's extremely muddy, very murky, nasty. Meaning that this one he's making is in the bowels of the white man's expression of life. So I'm going to go in the pit of hell and make this man out of your mud you made. Meaning I'm going to take your slave and make him your master. Will you submit? No. Because you, God, didn't make me to do that. You made me to be the devil. You made me to be a ruler. So I am ruling. Okay. I just offered you a 10. Still going to make the man. He's still going to rule you. And to prove that it happened, they put it in the book. He was ruling the man. And since he didn't accept, the man was placed in hell. So then he asked the Lord, Lord, this is a miserable place. Would you send Lazarus back to me to bring me a drop of water? Still trying to trick God. First thing he said, make sure you go and tell my brothers, don't come to this place. Meaning, go tell the people in England, France, all the Europeans. Change right away. Because you have no idea what God got set up for you. Go tell them, don't come to this place. But he wouldn't submit. Maybe I've said enough on that. And I'm not saying for you to go and look at them any different. But you make sure you keep your eyes open. They're going to be themselves. Ain't no need you telling them that they're the devil and they shouldn't do this, shouldn't do that. That just gives them more power in their mind. Just go as you've been doing. Now, when they get ready to do something, you already know what they're going to do before they do it, so you can stop it, you can change it, you can alter it, or you can just back up and watch them. Or you can just laugh at them. You don't have no more effect. Just like you got the venom, you got the antidote for the venom of the snake. When they bite you, you just laugh. Hey, did you get in there deep enough? They can't do nothing. I'm Father, I'm just talking to you. However, what I'm talking is real. And if you can find somebody else ruling this planet and ruling your life, let me know. If it ain't the white man, let me know who it is. Even the brown man. He bring all his cars over here, all his computers, everything. If this country has anything with the economy go down, Japan has a fit. They're tied together, interwoven so closely. Okay, I won't keep you all standing. Is that sufficient for you?
Something to think about as you suggested.
Right. And nothing is done out of hate. Everything is done from knowledge. Knowledge. It's a wonderful thing to be able to create something and make it, see it do its work, and then see it at its end, and then put it to rest, and you go about your business. You see? No more wars, no more sickness, no more tears, no more death. Revelation 21. No more death, no more tears, no more sadness, no more sorrow. The former things are passed away. Next.
So, Father, this is from Brother Secretary Andre X. Earthquakes are caused by the Son of Man by experimenting on high explosions. Will you elaborate on this?
Well, yes, sir. That was in the past. You know, we got some explosions and put them in certain places, and we tested it out. We had to loosen the earth up at certain points to get ready for it today. However, you know, vibrations causes quite a few things. We don't actually, the Son of Man, being myself, or at that particular time, because there's been several sons of men. I'm the ultimate one. I'm the epitome of it. Master Farah Muhammad was, when he was here, he was the Son of Man. You see, so he had to experiment. I don't have to experiment. And I don't have to use high explosives. I don't have to do that. It's almost like what the brother was telling me, what's written, the word has power. Just say it. And if I know what to do, all I got to do is just say it. And it happens. In other literature, they say God said, be. He didn't go to work and do anything. He just said be. And it was. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
So that's what happened until it got to, it's like different stages of the development of this Son of Man until it gets to the epitome of it, and then there's no more experimenting. To actually say, well, if I'm really Allah, why should I have to experiment? I should already know. Now, Master Farad Muhammad was not Allah. So if he did any explosions or anything, he experimented. I'm not going to do it that way. However, by them doing what they did, has made it very easy for me to do certain things.
Final question, Father. Will you elaborate on why everyone in America will be pushed to the center and the purpose of that?
Well, yes, sir.
Oh, and when?
In due time. Yes, sir. On the outskirts of America, you have the second most powerful thing in the universe, which is water. So in the destruction of this devil and what he's got going, water will be used to show the power of Allah. Once you get into the inner part of the country where you have very little water, a different type of power has to be used, or either water has to be transported to there. So we don't have to worry about any effects of water dealing with the heart. It's like your heart is right under your rib cage, so it's very hard to damage it unless you get a real severe blow, because your cage of your rib protects it. You follow what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So if the heaven is in the center of the country, and if I want to really show power, I can whip this man on all four sides, making him to know that there is a God and who the God is. And so when you do come to the center, I've got something already set up for you where you can exist and multiply until the wind blows over, until the four winds stop blowing. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So this is why. It's because of the use of power. And at the same time, I hope I said it where you can understand it. Did you see what happened in Central America? The landmass wasn't really wide enough to make any distinction between it and the ocean. Look what happened. Just a mere thought. And half of it's gone from the water. The winds blew the water up. Now, if it was inland, way in, that couldn't have happened. The water would have to have been transferred there through clouds. Right?
Yes, sir.
If that answers your question. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, Father. I would like to express how wonderful it is to be in your presence. And I really enjoyed myself today and yesterday to be in your presence along with your family, your wife. I want to express how joyful I was to participate in assisting you and your family. And I have two questions. First question is the 10,000 angels that the messenger talked about. It was shared that there were 10,000 angels that came from the east to the west, and that they were in disguise, and they were placed all over America. I would like to know the difference between the 10,000 angels from the east to the west and the 10,000 angels in the family as far as the UNOI.
Ours?
Yes, sir.
I don't know of us having any 10,000 angels in the family. We have 7. However, it's the same 10,000 angels. And they were not from what we call the East, from Arabia, or from some Eastern Islamic country. Some of them came from there, but most of the 10,000 angels came from the East Coast. Even where I came from. The Supreme Being came from the East Coast. I was born in South Carolina, and South Carolina runs right to the ocean. I was raised up partially in New York, Brooklyn, New York, New York runs right to the ocean. And then I was reared up. The rest of my rearing was in the state of Maryland. It has two shores, eastern and western. But it's in the east. So we got a lot of angels that come from there. You got to remember that the wise people today are not the ones from the east as we know east to be. That's why if you read in the Theology of Time, it's saying that this particular Son of Truth is making it where even the ones from the east cannot oppose him or come up with anything that he's doing. You don't even have to look to them for any type of knowledge. You don't have to go to church. You know, that's something else I'm also doing. You know, if you go to Kansas or go to heaven, you're not going to find no big elaborate temple. I'm not going to ever build one like that. Because that makes it gives you the connotation that you got to go to a particular place to be in the favor of God or to worship Him. It's almost like you got to go to a special place to get ready to receive God. That ain't so. Wherever you stand, if you breathe in the air, that should be the place that's clean enough for you to entertain God. So if we do have places, there was not going to be a temple. There may be a building that we are using and we're doing things in it, and we have a place in that building if you want to be specific about worshiping God or doing something of that nature. You know, like we go today and say, well, if we want to rent a place, we go to a hotel and rent a big room. When the minister comes, he rents the whole Coliseum. That ain't no temple. The hotel, a big room, that ain't no temple. But it's a place that can be used to actually do nothing but deal in the spiritual. I'm building a society or a nation where you don't never have to go no place to get in touch with me. So when you go to these different places, I want you to have buildings or structures that make you remember me, make you happy. That's what I want you to do. So wherever you go, whatever you're riding in, whatever you're eating, wherever you're sleeping, if you sleep, whatever you participate in, whatever you're doing, it's automatically going to reverberate me. Not that I want you to go to some temple. That means that I have a partner. I expect you to do good and bad. That's what that lets you know. You come here 3 or 4 times a week, and all the other times that you're not here, I know you've got to be dealing in wrong. So we set a place aside in wrong for you to do right. I'm turning that around. Right?
Yes, sir.
You with me?
Yes, sir.
What I got up here is not going to disappoint no one, not even Satan. You know, Satan, he wants to be my best friend. And in a sense, he is. You know, it's like filtering out bad so you can only experience the good or the right. That's what he does. If you allow him to influence you away from me, you were never with me. If he comes and be a challenge to you, and you accept it as a challenge, he's going to make you sharper. So when you really are with me, you will know exactly how to be, and that you have a right to be with me, because you overcome that challenge. So he's done me a favor. He's my friend. Although I'm going to get rid of him. You know, masters do that. They don't take nothing personal. You know, I'm going to destroy you. It ain't nothing personal. It's going to destroy you. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. As far as the angels, what part do we play in that?
Well, angels are just angels. I want you to listen. Are you listening?
Yes, sir.
I'm not here to make angels. I'm here to bring you back to be God. Angels serves God. So it's not a part that you play. Be yourself. Now, in the process of you learning how to be yourself, you're in the right place. You're going over this mathematical thinking. Today you might say, well, I'm not really learning that much from it. At least it's keeping you in check until you actually can get to heaven or get to where it is actually flourishing. Because once you get to heaven, it is not, when you get there, it's not a place where you go and say, well, I'm going to learn mathematical thinking. You're actually learning it. However, you got to really, really use it. It's not that you're going to come and sit and talk about it. You got to actually do it. If you were there building something and you can't talk the nails into the building, it's got to be done right. Then Whitey will come out and look at it. Well, you got the permission to do this. And they'll come to check. They'll send the inspector out to see if you're doing it right. Now, what I would like the brothers to do when they come out, they're using this mathematical thinking, not just to do it right according to what white folks say it's supposed to be. They're supposed to look and see, well, look, although white folks are doing that, I see it standing, but I see another way it can be done better. You're thinking this. And what we say, yeah, then we go do it. You tell white folks, no, you can't do that. You got to do this, so and so. If you're working for them, if you're working for yourself, you got to use the math. And by using the math, that's what's going to make everything new. So it's not a thing that we're playing. Angels serve us. They make the enemies do certain things. They make him say yes when he really want to say no. They make him go when he really want to stay. They make him stay when he really wants to go. So that's what they do. That's why they say it's 10,000 angels here to usher me in. Meaning, I'm not to be denied. I'm a person that really deplores saying no. If you say, Father, would you give me the meaning of my name? I know that takes away from what I really want to express. So I don't say no right out because I don't like saying no. So I said, well, would you write me? I'll give it to you then. This is not such a good place to do it today. Would you allow me to do that? Yes, sir. So I never said no. Because I don't like saying no. So, if they love me, what they do, they always make it in such a way I don't have to say it. They intervene when somebody comes up and I got to say no. Before I say it, they change them or whatnot, and I'll say, always in a way where, here's the choice. And if you make me say no, and going to make me stick to it, then we might have to go to war. You see what I'm saying? So angels are to serve us. We're to be God.
Yes, sir. My last and final question. Could you expound on the New World Order that's coming into the year 2000? How the number of the beast, which is the 366, 666, play into that, and how they use that 6 in everyday life?
Well, they can only think. You know, we often say that the black man has 7.5 ounces of brain, right? There's something that we leave out when we say that, because your brain really weighs more than that. However, in your brain, that's the amount of ounces that you have that is actually creative power. You know, some people say 7.5 ounces of brain power. Well, that's what you really have. The white man don't have that. He has 6 ounces. And he was made after the 6th planet. So he's not allowed to get into any of the knowledge of the real God. Since we are here on the 7th planet, coming from Pluto towards the sun, you got 6 planets. Mars was the 6th planet. It was a period put to it. Like it reads in the Quran that we made this in 6 periods. Each planet was a period. Now, this planet we haven't finished. And we have not allowed this man to have any real creative knowledge. However, he does have enough knowledge, if he was allowed to be able to do things that we were doing on Mars. But he ain't on Mars. So what he's doing is almost like a backwards knowledge that he's expressing. So now 3 6s is 18. That's almost like saying, well, if you're a female, you're a woman then. So we say, for me, my number is 7. 3 7s is 21, I'm a man. If you say for him, 3 6 is 18. This is a male-female. He can't go no further. He can't think his way outside of the womb of his mother. That's why he's always thinking about sex. Because he's stuck on 6. You see? He can't get no further than that. And that's why his woman is always challenging him, because she got the same amount of brain power he got. So now when it comes up to year 2000, it's coming to a point in time where we can no longer, it's a definite showing that he's out and that the righteous man is in. You don't mean that he'll be gone at that time, but he won't have any power as what he's had before to hinder truth. And that's why today you don't see nobody that is our rival. We really don't have no enemies. Everybody's like faded away. Like all of the old things or former things has passed away. You know, the brothers used to be on the corner selling bean pies and newspapers, and you don't even want to see that no more. They just faded away. So that's what's happened. In the year 2000, and to let everybody know, I'm not pleased with anything. It's not going to be but one way to me. One way. There's no such thing. There's many roads to heaven. Oh, no. It says there's one road to heaven, one way, and it's straight and narrow, and it's very seldom traveled. You heard that before?
Yes, sir.
So if you think you come in as far as being a Christian, a Buddhist, a Hindu, or just whatever you want to be, there's only your thoughts. There's one way. And that's only the right way. So if I were not the way, I couldn't be speaking what I'm speaking with the authority that I'm speaking. I wouldn't know what I already know. And what I know, what I'm sharing with you is, it's timely. However, it's very limited. So in year 2000, we got to make a definite showing that I'm pretty close to being a man. All right? And you know, once you become a man, you put away childish things. I won't be a boy no more. I'll actually be dealing in my own power. And that's a wonderful thing. A wonderful thing. And I don't have the power to bring about destruction. That don't take very much power. You know, it takes power to build things. You know, you can have an accident and tear something down, but you can't have an accident and build nothing. Right?
Yes, sir.
You know, truck comes dashing down the street now and leaves the brakes, whatnot, run into the building, he's run all through here. But he can't run into it and build it. I hope y'all see what I'm saying.
Yes, sir.
Yes, anything else?
No, sir. Thank you, Father.
Yes, sir. I hope you're getting something from this. If you all are getting tired of sleeping, you must leave. I understand. So if you just acknowledge, I won't feel offended if you have to leave. However, I'm going to be leaving in a little while, so if you can hang in here. You know, it's not like you're going to see me every day. See me. But I'm constantly here with you. Yes, sir.
Salam alaikum, Father.
Walaikum salam.
I appreciate seeing you for a second time. I have seen you in San Diego. And I also like to thank you for my newborn son that I have, and also for allowing me to be here to see you here. I have a question. The question is, in the student enrollment that I have, it says Father of Civilization. And from what I heard from the brothers here, Father of Civilization is not in the student enrollment here. Could you explain that to me?
Father of Civilization?
Yes, sir. It's in the answer to Who's the Original Man, sir.
Well, the correct answer is the Asiatic black man, the maker, the owner, the cream of the planet Earth, God of the universe. That's the answer that was given at the time Master Fard Muhammad was here, given to Elijah Muhammad, to keep it from being personal. Now, if you want to update the language and the understanding of what was written, it can be acceptable of saying Father. Because the word Father means God, or the first. And the first is God. And then Father. So, in the correct writings of it, if you have the original lessons, it should read the Asiatic black man, not Father. Okay?
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. However, are you listening? If I'm new, I'm not the Asiatic black man. I'm the universal black man. I'm the father of this. I'm the father of this idea. Were it not for me, you would not live. This world's knowledge is over with. It's over, it's finished, it's done, it's gone, it's through. Someone has got to replace it with that is real. I don't know of anyone else that is actually doing it. I know some people that speak very well and they have a good command of the English language. However, when you evaluate and inspect what they're actually saying and really investigate, what they're saying has been said many times. And it has very little power, although it may be true. We've got to have words now that go to your soul, that give you a will to bring your power out, not to incorporate it with someone else and think they have the same power. They don't. Only the man in North America, the black man, only the black man in North America has the ability to have this power of which I'm speaking. And only the white man in North America has developed himself into be the cold, calculated killer or devil as what he is. You think about it. Even when Germany exterminated what they called all the Jews, they exterminated themselves. They didn't go get the Jews. They were there. This man came and left his borders. We put him over here. We gave every man a boundary. This man jumped his boundary, came over here. His boundary was England. It means end of the land for him. He left England and came here to what he now calls America. And now he's ruling the whole planet from this spot here because he left his boundary. So he is the worst of his time. And we are the best of ours. And what has made us the best is the pressure he's put on us. So I'm raised up right amongst him. Matter of fact, like I say, it's kind of comical. But his time is up. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, Father. I'd like to welcome you here in Los Angeles. It's wonderful to see you again.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I notice you have a little gray. It looks magnificent on you. I have 4 or 5 questions I'd like to ask you. Is that a significance to that gray there?
Yes, sir.
How old are you now as being alive?
Well, there's no age to me. At least that I can calculate. However, this particular body, I think it's 56.
No, what I meant in a spiritual sense.
I understand. I answered it.
Okay. So
otherwise, I answered both. So I wouldn't just answer them one.
All right then. Concerning the 7 acting gods that's with you.
And just before you say that.
Yes, sir.
It's in the Quran that this Solomon would have this kingdom built by the time he was 59. By the time he was 59. What am I? Am I 56 or 57? I'm 56. Next month, a month after, I'll be 57. So the year 2000, I'll be pretty close. 59. Right?
Yes, sir.
So it looks like I have the nation built. I just thought I'd drop that in there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I heard you mention concerning the angels, and these questions here you mentioned concerning the 7 acting gods that's with you at this time, and I'd like to know who are they?
They're my sons.
Okay, and I would like to know concerning it's pronounced Surhufren. It's in the Isaiah chapter 6 verse 2, 6 and 7, speaking of the 6 wings angels. Are they speaking of your family?
If you're speaking about a part of the angels,
Yes.
any place where you read in the Bible where it talks about the 7 golden candlesticks, the 7 angels, the 7 spirits, they're talking about my sons.
Yes, sir. They said that these 6-winged angels was on the right and left side of your throne. There.
Well, yes, sir.
All right.
Each wing brings in an attribute that they have that is of me.
Yes, sir.
They're pretty powerful.
Oh, yes, sir. Praise be to yourself, Father. Yes, sir. And my other question is, I'd like to know if you can answer at this time or perhaps later, who is the soulmate that you shared with me last time we spoke, back in '97 when I requested that of you?
Your soulmate?
Yes, sir.
He hasn't shown up yet.
Yes, sir. And
you most certainly will know her when you see her.
Repeat that.
You most certainly will know her when you see her.
Yes, sir.
If it's in the female gender.
Yes, sir.
You know, you also have another soulmate that's a brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Would you share who that is?
You'll know him too.
All right, then.
If I gave you his name and his height and his weight and his color and his appearance, you would have that, but you still wouldn't have him.
Yes, sir.
So when Satan knows that you know, and then Satan sends someone that's an imposter, and then you grab hold of him and think that's him.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you. That's wonderful. Thank you. Yes, sir, Father. I had submitted a business plan to you, and I know that everything of this world is going to be taken out. However, I would like a post, and I would like to be able to have something to do, and I wanted to know what is it that you would have me to do, because I plan, be it your will, to leave this landmass here, because I'm
well, what I would like for you to do, I would like for you to be in security. You seem to have a knowledge of that. However, I would like for you to do it in a way where you really are doing it for the love of your brother and the protection of them. Not in a way where you are expressing yourself that you have this power. A man that really has power, most of the time you never know it. That's how smooth he is with it. You know, you won't know it until you really challenge him. And you really got to, it can't be a pretend challenge because he know it. So you still don't know if he got power. So the real lawman or the real man that's in security, you know, you're so secure yourself, you make everybody else around you secure. They steal it from you. Not from your authority going around, do this, brother, do that, and you arguing with them or trying to put the law on them from the tongue and try to do it from your will. It's not to be expressed that way. I'm the supreme lawman.
Yes, sir.
And I don't even do you that way.
Yes, sir.
So you could do the same thing. You've got that ability about yourself, and if you do it here and you start it here, naturally, after we start to acquire things, we're going to need law people to put law to our emotions.
Yes, sir.
To make sure even those ones that have accepted doing right have a way to do it without offending their own self. So this means we have to have lawmen, especially when we first get started. Now, after everybody develops in such a way where they can always be their own lawman, then there won't be no need for you. However, during that process, you will be growing until that starts. You know, the black man is coming up out of this mud. He needs to be disciplined until he learns how to discipline himself. So you'd make an excellent lawman if you would do it right.
Yes, sir. I wanted that was the question I wanted to ask you, and also I bear witness that you are the supreme being in the spiritual, because I wouldn't have accepted you in the physical if I hadn't known you to be in the spiritual. And I would like to request to be your honor guard. Not that you would need it, however, this is what I would like to do until you give me a definite duty to perform.
Well, that will be coming up pretty soon. I got one brother that's already with me, and I'll more or less leave it up to him. I may suggest that you come based on your activities, or what you're doing now, and from now on. And then if he agrees with me, then I don't have no problem with that. However, you might not have much to do.
Father, being with you, I know I will learn.
Well, you will learn, but you might not have too much protecting to do.
Oh, well, just to be with you, Father, you really actually protecting me.
However, this is what I really would like, though. I would like to have some brothers that love the truth. I would like to be able to sense I'm only one. I would like to be able to send my wives to different places, so I want them to see certain things. I would like to know that I could have 2 or 3 brothers. If I say, well, I want you to go to Africa and take my wife or take my wives for so-and-so time and so-and-so period. And I just want you to go to make sure that there's a man with them so that they will not be disrespected by other people thinking that they are not cared for. And that you can actually do that and be in that type of beauty and love and don't fall victim to it. You understand?
Yes, sir. That would be a loving honor to serve you. I have 2 more questions, then I'm going to
you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Would either one of you brothers trust me with your wives?
Yes, sir.
So y'all got wives, huh?
Yes, sir.
No, sir.
He didn't miss it. Why would you trust me?
Because you're the supreme being. You're the supreme being, and you made the woman, and you know what her functions is and everything else.
Let's say we made it.
Yes, sir.
So if I let you go and expect you to be a real man and be like a surrogate husband to my wife or wives, I could feel comfortable you do that and everything would stay as it should be.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Will you be having an assistant supreme captain, my lord?
Well, not necessarily. I'm going to start changing all the titles.
Yes, sir.
Since we're going to be in several places, we're going to need several different lawmen. Now, we may keep it for a while as being supreme. However, they're still making a big I and little u.
Oh, yes, sir.
Why not just be the lawman?
Yes, sir.
The lawman and a lawman or lawmen.
Yes, sir. That'll work whatever your will is. When you said the supreme captain under the spiritual mother and your spiritual wife, I was in agreement with that. I'm in agreement with whatever you share. And I heard you mention on the tape concerning our brother Mason as being married to you. And I would like to put it like this. Would I be in order to consider myself being your spiritual wife and married to you in this idea?
Yes, sir. You can consider that.
I honor that and I thank you. May I be excused? Oh, yes. Since I haven't seen you in a while, Father, may I be permitted to hug you, to approach you?
Yes, sir. Just before I leave, all right?
Thank you very much.
Come down.
May I be seated?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Now, anyone that is my wife, you know I have stringent rules. Yes, sir. I'll take 2 more questions, unless someone here for the first time and haven't asked me before I leave. If you haven't asked me, first time you may come and ask me questions. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I first would like to bear witness that there is no God but you, Father, and Muhammad is his last messenger, now the exalted king. I'm a little nervous. Always.
Take your time.
Yes, sir, Father. My first question is concerning a sort of uncontrolling power that I've been experiencing, you know, in these past few years, and basically dealing with like a sort of an arousing anger, you know, that I have at times. That at times it gets out of my control. And my question for you is, I want to know exactly was it something in my past life, or either what it is and what I could do, or if I can gain back control of that.
Well, remember, mind over matter. I experienced the same thing. However, it has to be justified before you can act on it. You know, just sometimes when people come to the mic, just by them in their innocence being disrespectful and being ignorant, a rising comes up that this is Satan coming against me. However, the person don't know it. So I can't really attack the person because they don't know. So now I got to control this power that's coming up through the power of reasoning. It's going to come a time when you're going to need that and you can justify it and you'll be glad you got it. Until then, just remember, there's nothing, if you're really with me, there's nothing really great enough to really push you up to do something of that nature. You know, if it comes up, it's good to know you got it there. However, there's nothing that's going to come against you to really make you do that because they don't have that kind of power at this time, unless you're really dealing with some things that you shouldn't be in. If you're doing what you should be doing, there's nothing going to oppose you to bring that up. When you feel it coming up, put it in check by just saying, am I justified for using it? If you feel it, if you got to stop, count to 10, or whatever you got to do, drink some water, just do that.
Yes, sir.
All right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, what I said may sound very simple. It may not be as easy to do as simply as I said it, but it's something that you must do.
Yes, sir.
You know, if you don't want to bring harm to someone else, or the devil will make you, he'll send somebody in front of your face, or Satan will send it there to make you use it, just to trap you up.
Yes, sir.
He'll take it and use that power against you, and you be looking through the bars. You're in jail.
Yes, sir.
And then when you calm down and all the heat is going to calm down, you think about it, you say, man, what did I do that for? So think before you feel it. When you start feeling, start thinking. Start thinking. If you just turn around and walk away, it don't mean that you're a coward. Just leave. Now, if they follow you, do what you got to do.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. My second question is concerning on the new clothes you have for us and the new bodies, and concern of us being light. We won't be a particular color. However, we'll be any color we want. We'll just be light. If we want to be white, we can be white. If we want to be black, or any new color you have for us. And we have also clothes that is light. It's not of animal or sheep, rather, or cotton. I wanted to know, is this going to be like our entities? Are you going to bring out our entities out of us that would be light?
You mean bring it out from your body?
Yes, sir.
Not necessarily. We're going to change the body. You know, this mass that we have now, this energy, is just moving real slow. Real slow. Matter of fact, it's got to be fed by another faster moving energy that's in it, which is the heart and the blood. It's racing through the body. But the flesh that we see is just energy, but it's moving real slow. In order for us to be the fullness of what we really are, we got to change that. And once you change it, it's moving real fast. You can't have this on because this is energy too. It's moving extremely slow. And if you don't think it's moving, put it on a hanger just to let it stay there. Come back in 10 years.
Okay.
Either the hanger is fell down or the clothes is falling off the hanger. So that the entity will be there. It can move as rapidly as it pleases. It's the one that is going to bring about this other form. But it won't have to come out, just change the mass that it's in.
Yes, sir.
All right?
Yes, sir. And I just wanted to say that I'm celebrating my 24th Earth Day this Friday, and I'm celebrating it today, and I thank you for the present you've given me, Father.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Real quick. Y'all tired?
No, I'm tired.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, Father. Thank you for coming and being with us, first of all. There's been 2 maps made in regards of this 2x3 being split in half, right? Okay, well, California have any effect in that? And if not, how much of the West Coast will be engulfed with California.
Let me see if I understand what you asked me. Are you saying that North America is supposed to be split in two parts?
Right. They've made two maps showing that it's going to be split by 20 miles wide and a mile deep from the East Coast all the way to the West Coast. Now, it's been said that that's supposed to take place. However, some have said when California break off, it's going to cause this, and there's been several things shared in regards to that.
So what are you asking? Is it true?
Yes, sir. And if so,
well, it's going to be three parts instead of two parts.
Okay. Yes, sir. That's right. It is.
And California most certainly is going back into the Pacific.
Yes, sir.
And that's going to reach all the way down from Mexico all the way up almost to the state of Washington.
Okay.
And it's far in, way up in Arizona. So, you ain't with me. You right here in California, you think, well, nice sunny state. You know, if you have done any study concerning this landmass that you are on here, if I were not God, you'd already be gone. I think now they're even talking about that they're saying that California is slanted towards the ocean. It's slanted. It's letting you know it's going to go off. However, I look around, it's still building.
Yes, sir.
So if that ain't a devil, he's telling you it's going off, but at the same time he's making it look like, well, it ain't in our time, so we may as well part it up. However, it is in your time. And the rest of this planet, or this United States and North America, is going to be split in three parts. It's not going to be a pretty sight at all. If you're with me, you won't have to worry about it. And at 20 miles wide it is, we can jump across it. And a mile deep, there's just a mile less we have to travel going to the city. Everything is for us. And if you cannot use it, it's because you haven't done the thing that's necessary for you to be worthy of it. I'm saying this to you all as black men and people that hear this tape. That's why I'm not begging nobody to do anything. I'm not begging nobody to accept me as being Allah. The die is set. If a brother asked me about the different way we'll be as people or persons, the having or wearing of no clothes, having transparent bodies, nobody's talking this. And if you don't ask me how it's done, I'll tell you that too in private. Because white folks, they ain't dumb. You look up there and have a transparent man. If I can speak this, they say if you can think it, you can achieve it. If you can't think it, when I speak about white folks kind of laugh too. Because I don't really speak about them in the way that I hate them, or I'm trying to make them, you're doing wrong, you should this, and you hey, good job, man. You did a good job. The key word is did. So I'm not going to have to continuously put up with this that you're doing, because it's over. And what will determine how long you're going to continue to do that is how fast the black man wakes up, or the 70 years after 1930. You'll get that, did not we promise him to live 70, right? We told the man, or Mr. Devil, that you will live 70. Each score is 20 years. Master Prophet Muhammad showed up in the shores of North America as far as being the God in 1930. So as a people, I've said this before, but those of you that first time hearing this, as a people, they shall not live no more than 70 years, and the time started in 1930. So, I think by year 2000, you better have some real knowledge about who you're with and who you're not with. Anything else? No, sir. All right. One more and that's it. We got some pressing. Yes, sir.
Assalamu alaikum, Father.
Wa alaikum salam.
Thank you for coming out and really enjoy the spiritual boost. I have 3 questions, if I may.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. First one, you blessed me 7 years ago with the son, and in the evenings he sleeps really hard, so he's kind of hard to wake up, and because of that, I think because of that, he still wets the bed. So I wonder what I could do to solve that problem.
Well, you've already tried what he eats and time he eats and when he drinks? Have you done that?
He lives part-time with his mother, and I've tried to do that somewhat.
Well, you just have to let him grow. If his mother won't listen, she's not with us?
No, sir.
Well, you just have to grit your teeth and give him time.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Second question. Oftentimes, in my dream state, I'm conscious that I'm dreaming, or I'm awake in my dream. What type of power is that that is being expressed, and how can I make that serve me, if any?
Well, you're somewhat conscious in your dream. It's like you have the power to protect yourself even in your dream. You can develop in such a way where you can actually see what is going to happen and what you should be doing tomorrow. And if it's not what you wanted to do, you can change it while you're in your dream. When you wake up, that's exactly what you'll do.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Also,
do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'll get the tape. Yes, sir. Noticing that you are to rise in the west, and when the sun rises in the west, it starts off at its lowest point. I wonder what if there's any connection to you coming out of Temple 7C in New York, and then Temple 8, which was established right after 7, from my understanding, is in San Diego, and that's the lowest part in the west. If there's any significance, or anything you can share on that?
Well, the fullness of that being raised up in the west, in the spiritual sense, all before the spiritual knowledge has been kept, and it's been in the east, what we call over in Mecca, where they spoke Arabic, where Prophet Muhammad was last. And to this part here, North America itself is the west, period. Not California is the west of the west. If you understand what I'm saying. Now, if we want to break it down and just say, well, from the East Coast, we have an east, which I just spoke about a while ago, and the west of North America. Well, I'm not rising in the west part of this country, like say in California. I'm not rising there. More or less, I'm in the east of this country where I'm really rising. That's why the headquarters is there. And if you notice, even the flow of your blood is coming back after it served your body on the left side. So it's like what's here is almost what is left. So I won't be rising in that. I will call you to the rising.
Yes, sir.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
You're here, and you're supposed. Everybody that's supposed to be with me will be with me. However, my person or myself won't be recognized as being the one that arose in the west in California. The ones here of you that recognize me will know that I am risen, but I'm not in California. You will leave California and go where I am, or go where I instructed you to be. Because I don't care too much about this. California. I don't care too much about it. And to show you, I don't give it too much water. You got to import your water. You know, like it's in the lesson, you know, I didn't care too much about the poor part. You know, I know every square inch of the planet, and I preserved the best part for me. I didn't care about the poor part. This particular piece of land was the mother to Satan. So therefore, it can't be conducive to me. Matter of fact, every time I come out here and I bring somebody with me, especially when I first started coming, whatever is wrong with the person, whether it be mental or physical, it stands out when they get here. Yes. My son came here with me last time, and he got so taken away he had to catch a plane and leave. A couple times, Brother Secretary James Tuex, he had a splitting headache. He couldn't stand it. Brother Boss got so sick he couldn't even come out to the meeting. So you know I don't care too much about this. Even the land don't like me. It's not a question whether I like it or not. It served its purpose. So let it go on back. However, before it does, I'm here letting you know I do love you. And if you want to be with me, come on, let's go. But if you're in Maryland on the eastern shore, I won't say let's go. I say let's build. And we ain't going no place. You understand what I'm saying? Yes. I'm happy. You know, sometimes I'm a little disappointed with you. But that passes. Because you're still living, as long as you're living, there's an opportunity for you to change. And far as you sisters are concerned, you're not going to really see your man even when he becomes a man if you don't help him. Because the first person he's going to remember is you. If you did him right, he's going to remember you. And he's going to make sure you're not going to want for nothing. That's how much God he is. If he called hell, he ain't going to forget that either. He's going to remember you. And I'm going to back him up. Is that it?
Yes, sir. That was another question I had. You just answered it. Thank you, sir. Love you very much. Salam alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. I enjoyed myself being here. If you all would get the tape that we did today at the TV studio, we did 3 tapings. I think it's still only an hour and a half or something like that. I think they have it on one tape. Can you all produce it for anyone that wants it? Can it be reproduced? I don't mean tonight, but it can be. So you all should seek that tape and have it in your archives so you can, because there's a lot of knowledge on it. I said some things there that I didn't say tonight. And I was speaking to a much larger audience. So by you viewing it, you know someone else is viewing it. And you may be able to tune in on what they're thinking. Or straighten your own thinking. Right? I've had an opportunity presented to us, myself and us as a nation, to actually have time on the TV here. An hour, at least an hour. We had to pay for it. But we're going to look into it and see if it's feasible for us to do that. And if we do, we can advertise the things that we're doing, what we have, our temple, our ideas. If we do decide to take it, the only thing I ask that we be civilized and we pay our bill on time. Because we're not going to have very much time left out here. And those of you that came tonight, if you still have any doubts, I'm not saying drop them. I would suggest that you rethink. You know, doubt is a doorway for Satan. And he takes advantage of every opportunity. He don't say, well, she's doubting or he's doubting, so I'll let them doubt. No, he said, hey, they doubting? Let me go in and talk to them. And when I finish, they sure enough will be in doubt. So then the plane and the ship will be taking off. And you're looking at it leaving, and you can't get on. Because Satan has promised you something that he cannot deliver. Your life. Assalamu alaikum.